Chapter 26. Lin Mo looked at the investigators in front of him taking out handcuffs from their waists, about to handcuff himself, and hurriedly explained to Su Pingan, "Investigator uncle. I'm really not a bad guy. Here is what I reported. There are call records in the phone." Lin Mo wants to cry but has no tears. He clearly called the police to let you arrest others. How did you catch yourself up? Obtain negative emotion value plus 50 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value plus 50 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value plus 50 from Lin Mo. After hearing Lin Mo's words, Su Pingan fumbled for the cell phone in his pocket. Let Lin Mo unlock it, and sure enough, I saw the numbers 110 at the top of Lin Mo's phone call log. Let the investigators around him let go of Lin Mo, looked Lin Mo up and down, slightly surprised and said, "It's really you who called the police? Then why do you look like you have done something bad?" The main reason is that Lin Mo suddenly appeared with Ralts in his arms, and was flustered when he saw them. It looked like he had done something bad, so Su Pingan detained Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value plus 50 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value plus 50 from Lin Mo. You came to try and almost got stuck by Arbor's poison barb? Can you have a good face? Of course, Lin Mo dare not say this in front of so many investigators. If you are locked up again by the strongman locker, it will be more harm than good. Now the misunderstanding was cleared up, and the investigators let Lin Mo go. Lin Mo also told Su Pingan what happened. Su Pingan listened with great interest, but the more he listened, the more something went wrong, and the more he listened, his face became more and more gloomy. "Investigator uncle, you don't know. The young lady inside is called bold and unrestrained, and the dress is called cool. Everyone clamored to have a baby for me. He also said he would give me money. I thought, there is such a good thing? No, is there such a thing?" After finishing speaking, Lin Mo glanced at Su Pingan guiltily. Advertisement. Seeing that Su Pingan's face was already gloomy, Lin Mo immediately changed the subject and continued, "A good citizen like me, the flower of the alliance, the future successor of socialism. That must be abhorrent to this kind of behavior. Pick up your phone and call the police immediately. If I hadn't been determined and unmoved by beauty, then I might have been corrupted." As a result, those young ladies saw that the beauty captivate failed, and immediately wanted to use force on me. In the end, the boss came out, and he also wanted to help the young lady deal with me, sending a bo snake. When I saw it, it was amazing. Mixed doubles, I definitely don't do it. Immediately let Ralts run out using teleport. In the end, Lin Mo managed to turn the topic into nonsense. There is no other reason, that is, he found that Su Pingan's negative emotional value is too fragrant. Obtain negative emotion value plus 100 from Su Pingan. Obtain negative emotion value plus 100 from Su Pingan. This jump is 100. I don't know if it's because of his strength, but Su Pingan's negative emotion value is much higher than other people's. It's the tallest one Lin Mo has ever seen, so Lin Mo doesn't care so much at this time. Keep harvesting Su Pingan's negative emotion value. Su Pingan listened to General Lin Mo's story, and several black lines appeared on his forehead. The more he said it, the more outrageous it became. Why did the young lady in it think that he was too handsome and didn't want money? I have to give him money, and the boss has come out. What the hell is mixed doubles? The more Su Pingan heard, the more angry he was. He clenched his fists hard, restraining himself from wanting to beat Lin Mo violently. If it weren't for the fact that Lin Mo called the police, I will definitely handcuff him and bring him back. If there is anything to do, I will talk about it when I go back. Lin Mo also seemed to feel the murderous aura in Su Pingan's body. Scratching her head embarrassingly, trying to pass the test with cuteness, that. I just added 1,000,000 points of artistic processing. Billions. Su Pingan looked at Lin Mo, his face became gloomy again. However, as a senior investigator, he clearly knew that he could not bring his personal emotions into his work. Although Lin Mo's description was nonsense, Su Pingan also analyzed a lot of useful information from it. Advertisement. The Ralts in Lin Mo's arms were rescued from this Gardevoir shampoo. Although Lin Mo deliberately avoided this matter, it is not difficult to guess. What's more, the owner of this store is a trainer, and the level of the trainer is not too low. Capable of catching rare Pokémon like Ralts. At the very least, it should be at the level of an elite trainer. Does that shopkeeper have any Pokémon other than Arbor Snake? Su Pingan asked Lin Mo. Elite trainers are already unattainable for most trainers. But for the Alliance investigator, there was nothing unusual. Because the lowest standard for an Alliance investigator is the level of an elite trainer. They are similar to Agent Normal in the previous life, specializing in various crimes involving Pokémon and trainer. Lin Mo thought for a while, then seemed to think of something, and hurriedly said to Su Pingan, "There is also a Gardevoir in the room on the second floor, and both the Gardevoir and the Ralts are wearing collars that keep psychic in check. It should be the work of the Pokémon poaching group." Su Pingan's face changed suddenly when he heard Lin Mo's words, if it was really a poaching group. Things must not be that simple, so I hurried upstairs. Lin Mo watched Su Pingan rush upstairs, but didn't stop him. He just stood there and observed the movement on the second floor, with a hint of worry in his eyes. Although he rescued Ralts, the alarm was triggered. It's too late to save Gardevoir in the next room, but in fact Gardevoir should be the worst Pokémon hurt by humans. Lin Mo wanted to confirm the safety of Gardevoir in the room, if it was because he forcibly rescued Ralts. And if he hurt Gardevoir, Lin Mo will not forgive himself. Thinking of this, I felt a little nervous, and my muscles tensed up. Subconsciously exerting force on his arm, Ralts in his arms was almost suffocated by Lin Mo Lalu. The little hand kept patting Lin Mo's arm vigorously, and Lin Mo only reacted at this time. Looking apologetically at Ralts in his arms, he apologized, "Sorry. Ralts, forgot you were still in my arms." Lin Mo scratched his head in embarrassment. But Ralts is not angry, it can use the horns on the head to sense human emotions. Lin Mo was really worried about the safety of Gardevoir, who was locked up with him on the second floor. "Lalu." Ralts touched Lin Mo's forehead as if comforting Normal, as if telling Lin Mo not to worry too much about Gardevoir's safety. Advertisement. Chapter 27. Lin Mo was still worrying about Gardevoir's safety, and suddenly felt his forehead. A warm little hand came up to him, and when he looked down, it turned out that Ralts was comforting himself. Pikachu on the shoulder also noticed Lin Mo's worry, and kept rubbing his cheek against Lin Mo's cheek. Lin Mo looked at Ralts in his arms and Pikachu on his shoulders, with a nice curve on his mouth. "Thank you, Ralts, Pikachu." Within a few minutes, many investigators pressed the store manager and the young lady inside down the stairs. Su Pingan also came down and saluted Lin Mo to express his gratitude. "Thank you, little classmate, if it weren't for you, I'm afraid we wouldn't have discovered that someone was doing illegal activities here." You're welcome, as a partner of justice, the flowers of the Alliance, these are what you should." Lin Mo scratched his head, then rubbed his fingers and said to Su Pingan, "Just give me 50,000 Alliance coins as a bonus." Su Pingan. "Do you think Alliance is a bank? 50,000 and 100,000. You just said that you are a partner of justice, the flower of the Alliance, and now you start to squeeze the wool of the Alliance?" Obtain negative emotion value plus 100 from Su Pingan. Obtain negative emotion value plus 100 from Su Pingan. Obtain negative emotion value plus 100 from Su Pingan. Su Pingan gave Lin Mo a blank look. Annoyed, the 50,000, 100,000 must be gone. It's probably only 20,000 to 30,000. According to the reporting system of Alliance, as long as citizens report illegal and criminal activities, they will be rewarded. Rewards are based on the size and severity of the case. The highest is as high as 1 million, but basically this kind of case is a shocking case across the Alliance. Common people can't touch it at all, and the lowest is this kind of trivial case. If it weren't for the case reported by Lin Mo involving the illegal detention of Pokémon, I'm afraid it would only be a few thousand Alliance coins. It's only 20,000 to 30,000 Alliance coins for such a big case. Lin Mo was a little stunned when he heard Su Pingan's words. Then he took out his mobile phone, took out the Alliance report reward he had just searched and pasted it in front of Su Pingan's eyes, for fear that he might not be able to see clearly. "Investigator uncle. Don't fool me, it's all said above, involving illegal and criminal activities of Pokémon poaching. The bonus is as high as 100,000 Alliance coins. You don't want to take it for yourself, do you?" Lin Mo glanced at Su Pingan suspiciously, as if Su Pingan wanted to take his own reward. A well-shaped symbol immediately appeared on Su Pingan's forehead, and he couldn't bear it anymore. A chestnut hit Lin Mo's head. "What on earth does this BD think of us investigators? This case is not as complicated as you think. Go back and make a statement first, and then I will explain it to you." Advertisement. Lin Mo clutched his forehead and wanted to cry, but he was the flower of Alliance, how could he treat himself like this? This place is still self-reported. I have made contributions to Alliance. There was a grudge in Lin Mo's heart. Get negative emotion value plus 10 from Lin Mo. Get negative emotion value plus 10 from Lin Mo. Get negative emotion value plus 10 from Lin Mo. Su Ping'an looked at Lin Mo's resentful look that dared not speak out, and the aggrieved mood in his heart eased a lot. To make you mad at me, why don't you just put it aside and do a billion-point artistic processing, right? Su Ping'an hummed a ditty and looked in a good mood, and got into the police car. Take Lin Mo back to the branch of the Jiangnan Search Bureau. In the interrogation room, Lin Mo sat on a chair. Su Ping'an brought a list and asked Lin Mo, name. Lin Mo. Lin Mo answered fluently. Age. 3 years and 60 months. You boy give me a good answer. If you are so naive again, I will beat you. Gender. Can't you see it? Su Ping'an. Su Ping'an raised his hand and knocked Lin Mo on the forehead again. Lin Mo clutched his forehead and howled in pain. Listening to the system prompts that kept coming from my ears, the music blossomed. These few seconds are a gain of 100 negative points. Kids don't learn. What's your father's name? No father. What about mother? No mother. The anger in Su Ping'an's heart at this time was almost uncontrollable. With a strong force, the carbon pen in his hand was directly broken from the middle. Lin Mo, Sigma. I just felt something was wrong in my heart, and when I saw Su Ping'an walking towards me, I hurriedly covered my forehead. Dang! A crisp voice came from Lin Mo's forehead. Advertisement, what an orphan I am! Cries, this time it was Su Ping'an's turn to be surprised. He looked Lin Mo up and down, and asked with some doubts, are you really an orphan? Lin Mo nodded while covering his head. Is he really an orphan? No, investigator uncle, can we stop swearing? Wait me a moment. Su Ping'an walked out of the interrogation room, apparently to check Lin Mo's identity. Less than half a minute later, Su Ping'an walked into the inquiry room with Lin Mo's identity information. Frowning slightly, he looked at the material in his hand and asked Lin Mo, orphan. You lived in the Jiangnan Welfare Institute since you were a child, and now you are studying in Jiangnan Pokémon No. 1 Middle School, right? Lin Mo covered his forehead and didn't dare to say anything, just nodded in a daze. He looked very wronged. Why was he beaten when he clearly told the truth? Su Ping'an looked at the way Lin Mo hugged his forehead, which was amused and distressed at the same time. The voice said as gently as possible, I'm sorry, I was a little irritable just now, and I thought you had done another 100 million artistic processing. Lin Mo wants to cry but has no tears. He used his own experience to tell us that lying will eventually lead to retribution. Lin Mo looked at Su Ping'an, shook his head and said, it's all right, prosecutor uncle. You have been in Shaolin Temple before, right? I see that you have practiced one yang finger in this hand, right? There is still a big bump on Lin Mo's forehead where Su Ping'an knocked. Su Ping'an just smiled at this and didn't say much. After all, it is true that he misunderstood it, and it is understandable to ask Lin Mo to tease him a few words. Go directly to the topic. The current owner of the Gardevoir shampoo has pleaded guilty to having a flash ralts in his unlawful custody. Can I see it? Su Ping'an bit the word flash very hard, as if emphasizing that he already knew that ralts belonged to Flash. Tell Lin Mo not to play tricks. Lin Mo also nodded at this, and said softly to Ralts in his arms, Ralts, can you come out? From Lin Mo's arms, a Ralts with pale blue hair emerged, looking nervously at Su Ping'an. Pink on the head, Red's little horns are already glowing with psychic light. If anything goes wrong, it can take Lin Mo and Pikachu teleport to other places. One advertisement. Chapter 28. Su Ping'an looked at Ralts who came out of Lin Mo's arms with a little surprise in his eyes, and couldn't help being surprised and said, it's really Flash Ralts. Originally, Su Ping'an still had some doubts about Flash Ralts when he saw the statement of the shopkeeper recorded by his subordinates. Wondering if he was reading it wrong, or if Ralts had some kind of stain on it. After all, rare Pokémon like Ralts are too rare. Ordinary trainers may not see so many times in a lifetime, not to mention that Flash is a one-in-a-kind Pokémon of the same family. Even Su Ping'an, who has been in the industry for more than 20 years, saw Flash Ralts for the first time today. Su Ping'an was stunned looking at Flash Ralts, and it took a while to come back to his senses. Coughed, then said to Ralts, Ralts, given that you are a victim Pokémon who was illegally imprisoned. Now you are free to choose where you want to go. If you are willing to accept support from Alliance, then Alliance will breed you with high-level resources. Until you're strong enough to defend yourself, but the breeder doesn't come for free. You work for Alliance for a while, and then you can choose where you want to go. Another option is that you can follow the trainer who rescued you or return to the secret realm to find your own group. Su Pingan raised his head and glanced at Lin Mo. Lin Mo was also holding his breath at this time, looking forward to Ralt's choice. It would be best if the Ralts followed him. Lin Mo is not a saint, at most he has a conscience. He did not hesitate to risk his life to rescue Ralts, just to subdue Ralts. Pick up. Pikachu also held his breath at this time, looking at Ralts and anticipating Ralt's choice. From previous conversations, Pikachu knew that the Ralts did not trust humans. But still used teleport to save it and Lin Mo, at least there is still a little hope. At least with the Ralts coming, I don't have to be oppressed by Lin Mo every day. Lalu. Ralts tugged on Lin Mo's cuff and pointed to Lin Mo with his little finger. The implication is already very obvious. It chooses Lin Mo, after all, it believes in Lin Mo more than other humans. At the very least, Lin Mo's love and concern for Pokémon. As a psychic Pokémon, it can clearly perceive it. Advertisement. Seeing Ralt's choice, Su Pingan sighed helplessly, and said to Lin Mo, I didn't expect to be hit by you this time. Rare Pokémon like Flash Ralts are willing to follow you. However, Su Pingan was not surprised by Ralt's choice. Su Pingan continued to say to Lin Mo, since the Ralts have chosen you, I have something to tell you. Su Pingan then told Lin Mo everything he knew about the case. It turned out that the owner of the shop was not a member of a gang of poachers, but just a professional trainer who hit the dog shit. During an expedition in a low-level secret realm, he picked up the seriously injured Gardevoir. Then combine it with the profession I am engaged in, and use Gardevoir to make money. The collar that restrains psychic wearing Gardevoir and Ralt's neck is bought on the black market. Ralts also happened to be bought on the black market when the boss was out with Gardevoir. Because Gardevoir has a special feeling for this Pokémon egg, the boss wanted to buy it. The result was a Flash Ralts hatch. And because Ralts have only hatched for a few days, the boss has no idea of letting Ralts contact humans so early. Although the boss is somewhat mentally retarded, he is not completely without IQ. As a trainer, he naturally knows the value of Flash Ralts, and he has never abused Ralts at all, at most he was locked up all the time. Even the food that Ralts eats on weekdays is the most advanced Pokémon food, and a serving costs more than 50,000 Alliance coins. I have to say why Ralts chose to flee with Lin Mo. It may be that it can perceive the good and evil of human beings. After all, the boss wanted to raise her and sell her on the black market, or else he would let her do special services. She can perceive all these. This time, it is true that Lin Mo got a big deal. However, the only thing Su Pingan was curious about was how a high school student would go to such a place. And you still have Durex with you? Blind students discovered Hwadian. Su Pingan looked at Lin Mo suspiciously, and asked in confusion, you boy, why did you go to that kind of place? Lin Mo, I have my own system. Spotted Flash Ralts, must check it out. Which trainer can resist shiny Pokémon's captivate? But, there is no way to talk about things like the system. Advertisement. No one would believe me if I said it, maybe I would be dragged out for an autopsy. In an instant, cold sweat dripped down Lin Mo's forehead. Thousands of calculations, never counting that Ralts is actually in this kind of place. But who is Lin Mo? How can he be troubled by such a small problem? After thinking for a while, he immediately replied, actually, I am an aspiring young man who is about to fly his ideals on the street. I discovered this kind of illegal activity a long time ago, and as a flower of Alliance, I must absolutely hate this kind of behavior. So didn't I go in and get the Ralts out? And I also evacuated the crowd in advance to prevent the Pokémon battle from accidentally injuring civilians in common. After finishing speaking, Lin Mo also saluted Su Pingan decently. Su Pingan looked at Lin Mo and frowned slightly, still having doubts in his heart. Although what Lin Mo said is basically the truth, I always feel that something is wrong, stare at, Lin Mo felt a little guilty after being stared at by Su Pingan, and hurriedly added, investigator uncle. I still remember the names of the uncles who came to the store to wash their hair before. I can write it out for you, so that I can prove my innocence. Can you write it? This time it was Su Pingan's turn to be surprised, if Lin Mo could really write the list of those clients. So it means that he really came this time to fight against crimes. Lin Mo looked at Su Pinggan's surprised eyes and smiled slightly. Bring a pen and paper. This is also thanks to Lin Mo's rush on the second floor, harvesting a wave of negative emotion points. As long as you compare the names that appear on the system, you can naturally find these people. Su Pinggan handed the paper and pen to Lin Mo. Lin Mo silently apologized to these people in his heart. Before I had no choice, now I just want to be a good person. Uncles, you are amazing. You are noble. Then Lin Mo quickly wrote down the names of all the people without missing anyone. There are as many as a dozen people. Although there is only a name, it is combined with the monitoring of the commercial street and the search officer's internal information network. It was enough to find these people. Su Pinggan immediately walked out of the interrogation room with the list written by Lin Mo. Advertisement. Chapter 29. After a while, Su Pinggan came back with the list written by Lin Mo. There are a total of 13 people on the list, all of whom have been taken to the branch of the search bureau. Originally, the investigators didn't care about such trivial matters, but because the case involved Pokémon crimes, it became complicated again, and Su Pinggan had no choice but to copy all the fish that slipped through the net. By the way, let's verify the list that Lin Mo gave himself. What surprised Su Pinggan was that on this list, the corresponding names were all correct. And Lin Mo hasn't missed anyone yet. At this time, Su Pinggan also believed what Lin Mo said. He's really here to fight crime in the hair salon, not one of these guys. The young investigator at the side looked at a row of clients squatting in the corner with their heads in their hands, feeling a little troubled. This man has been captured. But their investigators are mainly in charge of Pokémon crimes. Where are these people arrested? The young investigator asked Su Pinggan, Captain Su, what should we do with these people? There is no place to lock them up. Su Pinggan glanced at these people squatting on the ground holding their heads, and then said, let's try it first. After the trial, if there is nothing serious, it will be handed over to the detention center. What Su Pinggan really cared about was Lin Mo, who was able to disperse these people in such a short time. And remember their names, no one slipped through the net. The reaction to the professional trainer was also quite fast, directly saving Ralts and escaping. Otherwise, just relying on the Pikachu in the hat on Lin Mo's shoulder, it would not be Akan's rival at all. Akans is already a veteran professional level Pokémon, and there are faint signs of breaking through towards the elite. If it weren't for this arbor snake, the shop owner had an irreversible injury in the previous private fight with other trainers. Otherwise, this Akans should have evolved into Arbok long ago, stepping into elite strength. I'm afraid that 2 or 3 investigators can't subdue it, and Lin Mo can't even think about running away. Otherwise, at Akan's speed, it would be impossible for Ralts to use teleport. At this time, Lin Mo also walked out of the interrogation room, and saw a row of familiar and unfamiliar middle-aged men squatting on the ground with their heads in their hands. Some curiously looked towards these people. The clients who squatted on the ground and covered their heads also saw Lin Mo and recognized him immediately. It was Lin Mo who ruined their good deeds before, and Lin Mo can be said to be fresh in his memory. Especially Lin Mo's face is engraved in their minds. The PRST youths present were a little dazed looking at Lin Mo, and some even saw the scene where the 2 girls competed for Lin Mo. Everyone came out to play, why is he safe and sound? A familiar system prompt sounded in Lin Mo's ear. Obtained from Li Dabing's negative emotion value plus 50. Obtained from Wang Dachuan's negative emotion value plus 50. Advertisement obtained from Lu Xiaoang's negative emotion value plus 50. Lin Mo was also amused when he heard the notification sound from the system. He didn't expect that he could harvest another wave of their negative emotions. Yo! Isn't this the uncle who plays alphabet games with the young lady? I almost didn't recognize it when I put on the clothes. This uncle looks so familiar. Oh, I remembered, aren't you the one who ran around with bare buttocks? Yura is so white, how do you take care of it? Who is this? Those who were ridiculed by Lin Mo had even heavier grudge, but unfortunately none of them broke through 50. It seems that because they are all common people, the upper limit is at most 50 negative emotion points at a time. But Lin Mo won't mind either, although their single output is only half of Su Pinggan's, they can't stand the high frequency. In less than half a minute, a dozen people had already contributed nearly 1,000 points of negative emotion to Lin Mo. If it wasn't for Su Pinggan not being able to stand it anymore, he held Lin Mo back. Lin Mo can brush up the negative emotion value of a day here. Su Pinggan glanced at Lin Mo angrily, and said helplessly, "What are you doing out here, kid? Aren't you going through the adoption procedures inside?" Since Ralts chooses to follow Lin Mo, it must be registered. Especially for Pokémon like Ralts with rare superpower coefficients, the adoption procedures are even more troublesome. One promise after another, Lin Mo has already signed no less than 10. "Captain Su, it's like this, Lin Mo has no guardian." At this time, the investigator who was in charge of handling the formalities for Lin Mo stood up and said with some embarrassment, "Adopting Pokémon also depends on whether there are conditions. If you can't even afford the lowest level energy cubes, then I can only be sorry. After all, Alliance is also responsible for the adopted Pokémon. It just so happens that Lin Mo is still a student and has little ability to work. In a situation like this, you must find a guarantor." When Su Pingan heard this, he just nodded and didn't say anything. Then he stood there and rubbed his chin with his fingers for a while, then asked Lin Mo, "Do you have anyone close to you?" Lin Mo thought for a while, then opened his mouth and said slowly, "Grandma Lin from the orphanage." "Then you call her over." "Grandma Lin passed away when I was in junior high school." Su Pingan. "Anyone else?" "Rhubarb." Advertisement. Who is Rhubarb? "The dog from the orphanage when I was a child." After asking for a long time, Su Pingan found out that the kid in front of him was simply the lone star of the devil. When asked who died, more than 10 names were mentioned back and forth. All but one have died. Of course, Lin Mo did this on purpose. Anyway, he is an orphan, Su Pingan can't find anyone to take him, so he will definitely let him go. Instead of letting the investigator trouble others, it's better to spend a little longer here. Anyway, you have to brush the negative emotion value. After the questioning just now, my negative emotion value increased by several hundred points. Su Pingan also noticed that Lin Mo is a typical dead pig who is not afraid of boiling water. It's just that they can't do anything about him. Angrily, he walked into the interrogation room again, and took Lin Mo's materials on the desk to read it again. Lin Mo, male, 18 years old. Now studying in Jiangnan No. 1 Middle School. Su Pingan immediately found someone who could vouch for Lin Mo, immediately made a call. At this time, on the other side, Zhu Qin's phone, who was cooking at home, suddenly rang. When she found out that it was an unfamiliar number, Dai Mei frowned slightly, feeling a little puzzled in her heart, not knowing who was calling. But still picked up. "Hello? How are you?" On the other end of the phone, a low male voice came. "Excuse me, is Lin Mo's homeroom teacher, Zhu Qin teacher?" Su Pingan said to the mobile phone that it was not difficult for him to find out the phone number of Lin Mo's class and the head teacher. "Yes, I am. May I ask who you are?" Zhu Qin nodded slightly, feeling inexplicably flustered when she heard Lin Mo's name. "Jiangnan Search Branch. If it is convenient for you, please come to the Jiangnan branch now, some things need your cooperation." Hearing that it was the investigator, Zhu Qin immediately panicked. Investigators handle mostly Pokémon-related cases. Since it was the investigator who called him, it must be related to Pokémon. Zhu Qin immediately thought of what Lin Mo said to herself in the office. "He's off to the wilds to catch Weedle." The thoughts in my mind were in a mess, and I didn't wait to ask the reason of the matter. Zhu Qin walked to the underground garage in home clothes, and drove to Jiangnan to search the branch office. Advertisement. Chapter 30. The other end of the phone hung up. Su Pingan also put down the phone in his hand and walked out of the interrogation room, intending to tell Lin Mo the news. After all, Zhu Qin is Lin Mo's class teacher. Great power also means great responsibility. Zhu Qin can decide whether to teach Pokémon students to graduate or to repeat the grade. Relatively, she also needs to take on the student's responsibility as a Pokémon mentor. Therefore, Su Pingan called Zhu Qin to come over, which is not incomprehensible. Su Pingan also told Lin Mo that Zhu Qin was coming. Lin Mo also nodded slightly, expressing her understanding. What the hell? Lin Mo looked at Su Pingan and grudged out for a while. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Mo. Get negative emotion value plus 30 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value plus 40 from Lin Mo. If eyes can kill, Su Pingan has already been killed tens of thousands of times by Lin Mo with his eyes. Could it be that he should tell Zhu Qin that he went to a brothel today? Or with the 300,000 bank card she gave? Use her money to visit brothels? Then can I survive? Can you graduate successfully? At this time, Lin Mo also knew that her next destiny was in the hands of Su Ping'an. Regardless of the grudge in his heart, he put on a flattering smile on his face. He flattered Su Ping'an and said, "Investigator uncle. You see, with my personality of doing good deeds without leaving names, you don't need to make all the head teachers come to search your branch office, right? Anyway, I also contributed to the alliance." As he said that, Lin Mo looked at the few people squatting in the corner intentionally or unintentionally. Seeing Lin Mo's appearance, Su Ping'an also had a smile on his face. Sitting directly on the armchair, he said casually, "I see, some people like art processing, this time I let him do it well. Isn't this to fight criminals? I've never seen Pokémon being bullied since I was a child." All of a sudden, there were hundreds of millions more art processing. Besides, I don't even have 300 alliance coins in my pocket. Do you think I look like that kind of person? I already knew I was wrong. Lin Mo's face was full of flattering smiles, and he almost wrote the word dog leg on his face. Pikachu on the side couldn't stand it any longer, and covered his forehead with helplessness on his face. Advertisement. It seems to ask myself why there is such a trainer. Since Su Ping'an heard Lin Mo admitting his mistake, he also nodded slightly. "Will you run the train with your mouth full next time? Don't dare. If you say go east, I will never go west. If you say drive chickens, I will never drive donkeys." At this time, Lin Mo seemed to see the savior normal, with his palms folded and raised above his head, he kept thanking Su Ping'an. "Recover, I still like your unruly look." Su Ping'an waved his hand, motioning for Lin Mo to step aside. After all, Lin Mo really came to fight criminals, risking his life to save Ralts. Regardless of the purpose, it was ultimately to save the imprisoned Ralts and Gardevoir. This is commendable. Naturally, Su Ping'an would not make things difficult for him, and let Lin Mo go after a little lesson. After all, this kind of place is where the rich spend their money. It costs tens of thousands of alliance coins to get anything. A person like Lin Mo looks like a poor student, and it is impossible for him to have so much money. If there is no problem, it is okay to help Lin Mo hide such small things. After all, to go to this kind of place, whether it is fighting criminals in the biological sense, or fighting criminals at the physical level. After all, I don't want anyone to know. Within 10 minutes, Zhu Qin arrived by car. Because I was in a hurry to go out, I didn't even have time to put on my makeup. Her hair was a little disheveled, and she came to the search sub-bureau on the flat shoes she usually wears at home. The pretty face was full of anxiety, seeing Lin Mo sitting in the office. I couldn't help but stepped forward and grabbed Lin Mo's ear to blame, "You stinky boy, you are looking for death. Didn't I give you 300,000 to buy Pokémon? Why are you still catching it?" Zhu Qin came up and blamed Lin Mo indiscriminately. After all, in her heart, she still loves Lin Mo very much. Otherwise, I wouldn't spend my 300,000 savings to buy Pokémon for Lin Mo. Zhu Qin received a call from Su Ping'an, thinking that something happened to Lin Mo when he went out to catch Pokémon. But Zhu Qin was taken aback, so she rushed here without changing her clothes. Lin Mo was caught by Zhu Qin's ears, pretending to be in pain and saying, "It hurts, it hurts. Teacher Zhu Qin, I didn't go out to catch Pokémon in the wild. After all, my Ralts were caught in the city, not in the wild at all." Su Ping'an, who was on the side, was a little stunned when he heard Zhu Qin's words. "How much?" 300,000. Then Su Ping'an looked at Lin Mo, frowning tightly. "Advertisement, didn't you just say that you don't even have 300 alliance coins?" Lin Mo, "You still kill me." Su Ping'an could only confirm with Zhu Qin in the end, and then told Zhu Qin about the whole incident in detail. Including Lin Mo's outrageous artistic processing, described verbatim. Listen to Zook in fiery wrath, Lin Mo took the money he gave to go shopping in brothels? If it wasn't for the casual home clothes she was wearing today, the buttons on her chest would probably pop out again. Zhu Qin looked at Lin Mo with murderous eyes. Lin Mo also felt that he was wronged, and he didn't dare to be skinny again, so he said weakly, "I can explain." Then he explained what happened to him today, omitting the details of the system and some young ladies of course. After listening to Lin Mo's explanation, although Zhu Qin and Su Ping'an found it hard to believe, for example, the price of 250,000 alliance coins was cut down to 170,000 by him abruptly. Almost took the voucher and bought the breeding house 0 yuan purchase. Although it sounds outrageous, if the object is Lin Mo. It made sense in an instant. In the end, Su Ping'an still failed to protect what Lin Mo didn't want Zhu Qin to know. It's like making up for it. She praised Lin Mo in front of Zhu Qin. After asking Zhu Qin to complete the procedures for Lin Mo to adopt Ralts, they let the two leave. During this period, Zhu Qin never said a word to Lin Mo. He just went through all the formalities with a dark face. When they returned to the car with Lin Mo, all the suppressed anger broke out. Clenching his silver teeth, he said angrily, "I'll let you take the money to buy Earl Dervish Pokémon. You go shopping for me, right?" Lash out. Normal slender fingers tugged at Lin Mo's ear. "Really not? Teacher Zukin, am I not fighting crimes?" Lin Mo also didn't do struggle, but let Zukin lash out on purpose. "After all, I feel a little sorry for Zhu Qin when I troubled Zhu Qin to make such a trip." When Zhu Qin heard Lin Mo visiting the brothel, fiery wrath almost couldn't help but slap Lin Mo against the wall. But after knowing that Lin Mo went in to rescue Ralts, most of the anger in Zhu Qin's heart had disappeared. And she didn't think Lin Mo would go to that kind of place, although Lin Mo was really annoying sometimes. But in Zhu Qin's eyes, her nature is still pure and good, and it is impossible to do those things. The only thing that made Zhu Qin angry was that she gave Lin Mo 300,000 yuan, just because she didn't want Lin Mo to risk his life to catch Pokémon. He wanted him to cherish his life, but Lin Mo still didn't take life seriously and risked his life to save Ralts. And the opponent is a professional trainer. If Ralts hadn't used the teleport to save Lin Mo at the last moment, I'm afraid I would have come here now to collect Lin Mo's body. Advertisement. Chapter 31. Zhu Qin was sitting in the driver's seat, her pretty face was gloomy as if it was about to drip water. With slender fingers resting on the steering wheel, he stared straight ahead without saying a word. Seeing Zhu Qin like this, Lin Mo hurriedly explained. "Teacher Zukin, I really went to save Ralts. How could a good student like me go to that kind of place?" Zhu Qin turned her head and glanced at Lin Mo, then turned her head with a cold snort, but still didn't say anything. It seems that there is still a lot of resentment in his heart. Seeing Zhu Qin like this, Lin Mo touched his nose and felt a little funny. It was the first time he saw Zhu Qin's caring look, and he hugged Pikachu on his shoulders and continued to comfort him. "Look, Teacher Zhu, didn't I get 2 Pokémon all at once? Ralts, come out too." Lin Mo whispered to the Ralts in the clothes. In the clothes, a Ralts with light blue hair poked its head out quietly. Lalo Zhu Qin looked at the beautiful eyes of Ralts poking out of Lin Mo's clothes, full of surprises. Although she signed an agreement for Lin Mo to adopt Ralts. "But I didn't expect this to be a flash Ralts." As a Pokémon school teacher, Zhu Qin deeply understands what this means. Originally, she gave Lin Mo 300,000 alliance coins in order to let Lin Mo choose the Earl Dervish Pokémon. Although it is not as good as the Yuuzhanjia bought by others for several million, at least it has a beginning. And now, only 1 day has passed. Lin Mo already owns 2 Pokémon, both of which are much better than Pokémon like Weedle and Pidgey. Pikachu. This kind of Pokémon is a bad electric mouse on the street, but Lin Mo's one is definitely not low in terms of mental outlook and liveliness. Just this Pikachu, Zhu Qin can conclude that Lin Mo's starting point is definitely not inferior to those trainers who have Yuuzhanjia as Earl Dervish Pokémon. Let alone now, Lin Mo also owns a Flash Ralts. Rare Pokémon like Ralts are not available to common trainers, if Lin Mo hadn't gotten lucky this time. Advertisement. Otherwise, for Pokémon like Ralts, the secret realms that exist must be at least sea-level secret realms. Moreover, the number of Ralts is rare, and the probability of encountering Flash Ralts is basically 0. Like Su Ping'an, Zhu Qin saw Flash Ralts for the first time today. These two. One is the tutor of the best Pokémon high school in Gangnam, and the other is a senior investigator of the Gangnam investigation branch. Enough to explain the rare degree of Flash Ralts. After Zhu Qin saw the Flash Ralts, most of the anger in her heart was blown away by the shock. He even somewhat understood why Lin Mo risked his life to save Ralts. This means that the investigators came quickly. If Flash Ralts is exposed to more people, it may cause quasi-elite or even elite battles. This time the Ralts chose to follow Lin Mo. Lin Mo was really lucky. Zhu Qin glanced at Ralts, then reminded Lin Mo, Flash's Pokémon are not low quality, especially the rare Pokémon like Ralts. Potential aptitude is probably most basically at the gymnasium level, and it may even be at the quasi-elite level. Zhu Qin is neither a breeder nor an observer, so she cannot tell the potential of Ralts. At best guess, you must know that the Pokémon with gym level potential is already an indomitable existence in the eyes of ordinary people. As for the quasi-elite class, that is even more unthinkable. Zhu Qin has been teaching for so many years, but she has never seen a Pokémon with quasi-elite qualification. If it weren't for the fact that Pokémon talents like Ralts are generally not low, Zhu Qin would not dare to rely on the potential qualifications of quasi-elite. Hearing Zhu Qin's words, Lin Mo just nodded and told Zhu Qin that he would protect Ralts. And the Ralts panel has emerged in front of my eyes. Ralts, Superpower, Fairy, Gender, Level, LV.4, Infant Stage, Ability, Synchronization. When another Pokémon causes burns, poisons, toxics, or paralysis to itself, it will cause the same status condition to that Pokémon. Character Talent, Restrained, Special Attack Plus, Attack Individual Values, HP, 17, Attack, 0, Special Attack, 31, Defense, 18, Special Defense, 31, Speed, 31, Skills, Destiny Bond, Black Gaze, Disable, Memento, Grudge, Teleport, Advertisement Carrying Items, none. Potential, Elite Level. Special, 1 Shiny Pokémon, Special Attack Species Strength, 45 plus 25, 2. Atavism, Terrifying Psychic. There is an extremely powerful psychic in the body, which cannot be fully mobilized yet, a true shiny Pokémon. Ralts not only have 25 more special attack species strength than common Ralts, but also have flash talent and extremely terrifying psychic. Ralts, like Pikachu, is also 3V, and also has the potential qualification of elite level. The distribution of individual values is also very reasonable. High speed and high attack. Although the attack is 0, Lin Mo doesn't care. Because Lin Mo's Ralts are female, they can't evolve in the direction of Gallade at all. Although they are also elite level potential qualifications, Ralts is only stronger than Pikachu. As an experienced gamer, Lin Mo naturally knows the skills of Destiny Bond, which Ralts cannot learn. These skills can only be inherited through egg moves, that is, through the parents of the parental Ralts to the Ralts. Just the egg move, there are a total of 5 Ralts, and they have learned the teleport that can only be learned at level 9 in advance. In the real world, these are possible. Pokémon with high aptitude can often comprehend skills earlier, or evolve a few levels earlier, and the opposite is true for Pokémon with low aptitude. For example, Awakens, the shop owner who illegally detained Ralts before, has reached the professional level, above level 30. But Awakens is slow to evolve. One is that he has suffered irreversible damage, and the other has something to do with his own talent and aptitude. And Ralts can learn teleport at the young age, which should have been learned at the 15th level, at the mature stage. It's also a testament to the Ralts' terrifying credentials. The Pokémon of the psychic system is rare in this world. Each one must be strictly controlled by alliance. Moreover, Gardevoir also possesses fairy type, and can master many fairy type skills. That is the nemesis of dragon Pokémon. In short, this wave of Lin Mo is making a lot of money, the blood of the blood, the kind that smokes from the ancestral grave. Advertisement. Chapter 32. Both Lin Mo and Zhu Qin live near the school. The place of residence is not far apart, and it just happens to be on the way. She drove her own car, ready to take Lin Mo home. After seeing Pikachu and Ralts, Zhu Qin's hanging heart also let go a lot based on Lin Mo's rich background in Pokémon. Zhu Qin believes that he can raise these two little guys very well. Along the way, most of the resentment in her heart has dissipated, and she is really happy for Lin Mo from the bottom of her heart. So, you really didn't do anything bad? Zhu Qin parked the car in front of Lin Mo's house, hesitated for a while, and asked with some concern. No. I swear to God. How can a good student like me do bad things? If you ignore Lin Mo's momentary urge to blow up the second floor. He really didn't intend to do anything bad. Lin Mo stretched out 4 fingers and pointed towards the sky, as if about to swear. Looking at Lin Mo's serious look, Zhu Qin felt much better. A smile finally appeared on Lang Yan's face, and said softly, "Okay, trust you. Put your hands down." Seeing the smile on Zhu Qin's face, Lin Mo was relieved a lot. He always remembered Zhu Qin's kindness to him. Without Zhu Qin's 300,000 yuan, Lin Mo might not be able to support these two little guys by himself. The 300,000 alliance coins are only 130,000 left. Trainer is really a money-burning profession. When the crisis was resolved, Lin Mo looked at Zhu Qin's glamorous and beautiful face, and couldn't help joking, "Teacher Zukan, are you sure you don't want to visit my house to see the backflip cat? Climb. Brat, don't think I don't understand what it means." Zhu Qin raised her hand, as if to hit Lin Mo. "I really don't know where this BD learned these words." Lin Mo also opened the car door and walked out, when a small delicate box slipped out of his pocket. "Lin Mo, your things dropped." Zhu Qin picked up the small box that slipped from Lin Mo's pocket on the passenger seat, and glanced at the small box curiously. "Read the words on the small box. A set of Durex Ultra Thin 0.0 Zukan." Zhu Qin didn't remember what it was, but felt that she had heard of this brand somewhere. "After thinking about it for a long time, I finally remembered something." His face immediately darkened. "Advertisement." The system's prompt tone continued to come from Lin Mo's ear. "Gain Zukan's negative emotion value plus 30. Obtain Zukan's negative emotion value plus 40. Gain Lai Zukan's negative emotion value plus 50. In an instant, Lin Mo felt like a light was on his back, and a terrifying killing intent came from behind. Turning her head, looking at the Durex in Zhu Qin's hand, she almost cried out. "How many times have I been fooled by this thing? Why is there such a thing everywhere when it comes to critical moments?" Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Mo. Get negative emotion value plus 30 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value plus 40 from Lin Mo. Feeling the terrifying aura still rising from Zhu Qin's body, Lin Mo scratched his head embarrassingly. "Well, if I say, this is a misunderstanding, do you believe it?" After speaking, Lin Mo innocently blinked his eyes twice. However, what greeted him was Durex that slipped out of his pocket, and Zhu Qin's cold voice. "Roll." Afterwards, Zhu Qin started the car and drove away. Only Lin Mo was left in a daze. Seeing this scene, the old man at the door shook his head in disgust. Young people nowadays are really open to play. Lin Mo looked at the Durex pasted on his forehead, wanting to cry without tears. Could it be because he subdued the flash ralts, so according to the law of conservation of luck? Unlucky about other things? Zhu Qin was in a fit of anger, and Lin Mo also knew that going any further at this time would be tantamount to courting death. Wait until Teacher Zukan's anger subsides, and then explain the situation to her. Lin Mo opened the door with Ralts and Pikachu in his arms and walked into the room. Put Ralts on the table, and whispered to Ralts, "Ralts, this is our home from now on. Pika pick up." Pikachu also welcomed the arrival of this new member, standing on Lin Mo's shoulders to welcome Ralts. He even put his newly bought hat on Ralts' head to express his love for Ralts. Advertisement Lalu. Ralts stands on the table, a little bewildered. Look around, looking at this slightly shabby and cramped room, he didn't mind at all. This small room full of warmth is much better than her previous cell with only cold chains. Lin Mo came home after a busy day, only feeling a little tired. Throwing the Durex in his hand out of the window, he never wants to see this thing in his life. After a short break, Lin Mo took the things he bought today out of the bag, and put the Pokémon eggs of Doran Messia into the advanced incubator. It is specially placed in the corner of the nightstand. Although Doran Messia has not yet hatched, it is already able to perceive the outside world. It's also good for the two little guys to get in touch with him. Ralts and Pikachu are also full of curiosity about this unknown little life. A curious baby looking at a Pokémon egg in an incubator. Lin Mo took a short break, and just as he was about to turn on the light, he found that the electricity at home was out again. Zi, zi, zi. The faint sound of electric current keeps coming from the aging circuit. Pikachu felt that something was wrong, and was about to escape when Lin Mo caught him back. "Pikachu, it looks like you haven't finished training today, right?" Lin Mo looked at Pikachu and said. In Pikachu's eyes, Lin Mo is like the horned demon normal. "Pick up." Pikachu retorted aloud, "What kind of training is this? Isn't this letting yourself generate electricity? Then you give me back the 50,000 alliance coins you bought for the hat today." Lin Mo blocked all of Pikachu's escape routes with one blow. It has covered its own living expenses for a year, so shouldn't it send some electricity to the family now? "Pikachu, QAQ, doesn't your conscience ache when you ask your own Pokémon for money? There is no way, in order to keep his beloved hat." Pikachu had no choice but to get into the large hamster cage in humiliation, and consciously connected the conductive devices of the two oxygen masks to normal. "Start exercising in the hamster cage." Chapter 33 The Pokémon that exchange labor for rewards is the most glorious. Advertisement. Chapter 33. Chapter 33. The Pokémon that exchange labor for rewards is the most glorious. Seeing Pikachu's appearance, Ralts looked at Lin Mo with some puzzlement. Seems to be asking Pikachu what is this doing? Lin Mo was also aware of Ralts' doubts, so he patiently fooled, crossed out, and explained, I'm telling you, you must know how to use labor in exchange for rewards. In order to cultivate your work ability and to exercise you, that's why I did this. Like the hat on Pikachu's head, but it cost 50,000 alliance coins. That's me, otherwise it would be impossible to buy such an expensive hat for an ordinary trainer. Pikachu, listen to me. Thank you. Similarly, Ralts, if you want something, you need to use your labor in exchange for reward. That's a good saying. The Pokémon who exchange labor for rewards are the most glorious. You all have to learn to be self-reliant, so that you can enter society in the future. After hearing what Lin Mo said, Ralts couldn't help but nodded, although he didn't understand very well. But I just think what Lin Mo said makes sense. Seeing that Ralts is so easy to fool, Lin Mo couldn't help showing a tricky smile on his face. Well, Ralts, use psychic to wash the dishes you didn't wash yesterday. Lin Mo collapsed on the sofa and directed to Ralts. The biggest benefit of psychic Pokémon is convenience, except for teleport. You can also use psychic to do various housework. Basically, rich and powerful people will have a few psychic Pokémon as housekeepers in their homes. Handle various household chores. After hearing Lin Mo's words, Pikachu was a little stunned, and stopped in the hamster wheel. As if looking at such a demon, Normal looked at Lin Mo. Ralts is so small, you never let her go? Beast. Advertisement. Ralts was also slightly taken aback when he heard Lin Mo's words. Do the washing up? Before I was there, the store manager always served delicious food and drinks, why did I have to wash the dishes when I came here? However, Ralts recalled what Lin Mo said. There is nothing wrong with exchanging labor for remuneration. The only problem is, what is washing dishes? Ralts had been held there since birth and hadn't even seen a bowl much. Not to mention washing dishes. Ralts looked towards Lin Mo suspiciously, and Lin Mo felt Ralts' suspicious eyes. After patting his forehead, he remembered what kind of living environment Ralts was in before. I had to go to the kitchen to demonstrate to Ralts. Ralts, you are watching. You have to wipe it with a dishcloth to clean the bowl, and finally squeeze in dish soap and rinse it. Lin Mo taught by example and simply demonstrated to Ralts. Ralts has a high IQ, and he can remember such trivial things after reading it once. Immediately patted Baron's chest, saying that there is no problem. Lin Mo also walked out of the kitchen in peace. After all, he just washed a few dishes. Could it be possible to dismantle your own kitchen? Lin Mo lay on the sofa, checking his day's harvest. I walked around the outside several times a day today, and I should have gained a lot of negative emotion points. Lin Mo opened the system panel and looked at the numbers on the system panel. I was so surprised that I almost jumped off the sofa. Negative emotion value, 13,435. Advertisement. There are more than 13,000 points of negative emotions, almost twice as much as the first day. Lin Mo was a little curious, and opened the record to see who contributed so much negative emotional value to him. The first place was Su Ping'an, who contributed more than 3,000 negative emotional points to himself. As expected of a high-level investigator, a man with 100 negative emotions in one jump. The next few are all uncles from the Gardevoir shampoo room, and each of them contributed nearly 1,000 points of negative emotion to Lin Mo on average. Seeing Lin Mo's heart burning, he immediately wanted to rush out and crack down on a few more criminal dens like this. Afterwards, it was Zhu Qin and the uncle who had bargained before. The worst thing was the uncle of the shop owner, who lost money again and was cut off by Lin Mo. One person contributed more than 500 points of negative emotion value, which is also a leak with extremely good potential. Thinking of today's harvest, Lin Mo's mouth is almost crooked. Not only saved nearly 80,000 alliance coins by bargaining, but also saved Flash Ralts. In the end, there were more than 13,000 negative emotion points. I didn't expect that I could harvest so many things after only going out for a day. Lin Mo sat up from the sofa and rubbed his hands excitedly. First, plan to test the waters with a round of 10 rounds. System, D-level prize pool. Let's start with a round of 10 consecutive draws. A large colorful turntable appeared in Lin Mo's mind, spinning rapidly. Spending 1000 negative emotion points. 10 consecutive draws are Indiana progress. Drip, 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 successful draw. Congratulations to the host for obtaining, thank you for participating *10. Hearing the news that he hadn't smoked anything in 10 consecutive draws, Lin Mo's heart was at peace at the moment. No mood swings at all. After all, he now has more than 13,000 negative emotion points. With a lot of money and a lot of money, a mere 1,000 points of negative emotion value is just a drop in the bucket for him. Advertisement. Chapter 34. Lin Mo turned on the mobile player and played his housekeeping skills. A cheerful and festive song Good Luck Comes came out slowly from the mobile phone, echoing in the room. Good luck. I wish you good luck. Lin Mo's confidence soared, which helped him to draw out the BGM of Pikachu and Doran Messiah. What materialistic warrior, I am now the son of destiny. System, continue pumping for grandpa. Spending 1000 negative emotion points. 10 consecutive draws are Indiana progress. Drip, 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 successful draw. Congratulations to the host for obtaining, thank you for participating *10. Lin Mo? Lin Mo was a little dazed at this moment, didn't draw anything in Shilian? He stopped the lottery draw first, and began to analyze it seriously. Is it because I subdued the Ralts today, so I used up some good luck? Lin Mo stroked his chin, hesitating whether to draw a lottery or not. I haven't smoked anything in my 20s, at least I have a basketball suit before. Now it is all thank you for your patronage, if you want Lin Mo to give up. Then the 20 consecutive draws before are equivalent to a waste of time, that is 2000 points of negative emotion points. 2000 points of negative emotional value is life for the wealthy Lin Mo. System, you recover, I still like your rebellious appearance. Forget it, I've already drawn 20 consecutive draws. When I make up for the lack of luck, maybe I'll be lucky again. Lin Mo comforted himself unwillingly, completely ignoring the fact that his face was dark. Just as I was about to continue the lottery draw, there was a cracking sound like normal firecrackers coming from the kitchen. Lin Mo only felt as if the ground was shaking 3 times. Ralts. Lin Mo thought of Ralts in the kitchen, and hurried towards the kitchen without wearing slippers and bare feet. In the kitchen, it was a mess. Numerous ceramic shards lay on the floor, and a few tiles fell off the kitchen wall. Ralts stood in the middle of the debris, a dazed look on his face. Seems normal to have no idea what's going on. Ralts, are you all right? Advertisement. Lin Mo expressed concern towards Ralts. Ralts just shook his head, indicating he was fine. Then he gestured with his hands in the air. Lin Mo frowned, and asked Ralts in a guessing manner, you mean, your psychic went berserk and that's why you broke the bowl? Ralts nodded obediently. Lin Mo looked at the debris on the ground, as well as the falling tiles on the kitchen wall, his eyelids twitched wildly. Take a deep breath. Psychic washing dishes is so scary. This is more than breaking the bowl. Those who didn't know thought that the demolition team was invited to demolish the kitchen. Immediately, there was a grudge in my heart. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Mo. Get negative emotion value plus 30 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value plus 40 from Lin Mo. However, Lin Mo did not blame Ralts either. Ralts didn't mean to, after all. After checking Ralts' injuries, it was confirmed that Ralts was not injured. Lin Mo also breathed a sigh of relief. After all, the inspection fee of Pokémon Hospital is much more expensive than a few bowls. Wrong. It should be the safety of Ralts, how can it be measured by several bowls? In the end, Lin Mo didn't dare to ask Ralts to wash the dishes. Of course, don't be afraid of the Ralts Encore kitchen renovation plan. But there are no more dishes for Ralts in the house. Lin Mo was a little at a loss looking at the Ralts who stood there in a daze, and it was a little funny that he could only hold the Ralts in his hands. Okay. Ralts, you can play with Pikachu for a while. Lin Mo found a broom and a dustpan, and planned to clean up the kitchen that had been destroyed by the Ralts. At the same time, he secretly swore in his heart that he would never let Ralts do the dishes in the future. Is this dishwashing? Advertisement. This is simply a new decoration plan for your own kitchen. Who has the money to withstand such a build? Even a millionaire has to go bankrupt. It took 3 to 4 hours to clean up. Lin Mo cleaned up the debris. Lin Mo cleaned up very carefully because he was afraid of scratching the 2 little guys. There are no tiny pieces left behind. After cleaning, Lin Mo bought a new set of tableware online. Let Delibird send it to yourself quickly. Otherwise, there is no bowl for dinner at night, so you can only eat with your hands like Pikachu. Lin Mo can't do such a move. Pikachu? I have to use chopsticks for a Pokémon, right? After finishing everything, Lin Mo sat down on the sofa with resentment all over his body. The lottery draw continued, and it was still the 10th consecutive D level. Lin Mo intends to use up the bad luck first, and then draw a higher level prize pool. Sure enough, Lin Mo got 2 items this time. Use 1000 negative emotion value. Lucky draw is in progress. Drip, 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 ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining, thank you for participating +8. Items, Delicious Powder *10, Durex Ultra Thin 0.01 pack. Lin Mo looked at the system prompt and the 2 things in front of him, and fell into a long thought. Why are you everywhere, right? You just lost it, and you took it out for yourself again? The grudge in my heart grew bigger. Get negative emotion value +30 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value +40 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value +50 from Lin Mo. Advertisement. Chapter 35. What surprised Lin Mo the most was the delicious powder. Delicious powder, as long as it is sprinkled on food, no matter how unpalatable the food is, it can be turned into Moltres level delicious dishes. The objects of use are not limited to Pokémon food and human food. Lin Mo was really surprised to be able to draw such a practical thing in the D-level prize pool that basically does not give out anything. After all, the ones that were drawn in the D-level prize pool before were all Durex basketball overalls and the like. Looking at the remaining 10,000 negative emotion points on the system panel, Lin Mo did not choose to continue to draw the D-level prize pool, but set his sights on the more advanced C-level prize pool. The D-level prize pool has exploded, and the explosions are much better than before. Then this shows that the European Emperor's luck that belongs to him has returned. Lin Mo looked at the system panel in front of him and grinned, and immediately said to himself, System, C-level prize pool, give me 10 consecutive draws. Use 10,000 negative emotion value. Lucky draw is in progress. Drip, 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 the pointer in his mind turned rapidly, and the system's cold notification sound kept coming from his ears. Thank you for participation. Thank you for participation. Seeing the words thank you for participating constantly popping up in front of him, Lin Mo's heart tightened. His complexion suddenly changed. Could it be that the 10 consecutive draws this time are going to be for naught? This is not the 10 consecutive draws of the D-level prize pool, but the 10 consecutive draws of the C-level prize pool. A 10 consecutive draw of the top D-level prize pool, these 10 draws are worth 10,000 points of negative emotion. Lin Mo's heart fluctuated with the beeps in his ears. Finally, Lin Mo heard a different voice. The rapidly spinning pointer in my mind stopped slowly, and the entire turntable glowed with an incomparably bright golden light. Gold Legendary. Another gold legendary item was drawn this time. Congratulations to the host for obtaining an S-level item, Light Ball, Extreme Grade, a gold legendary item of the same level as the quasi-god egg Doran Messia with the prompt system N6V. Before Lin Mo could be happy, the turntable in his mind burst into another purple light. Congratulations to the host for obtaining an A-level item, Electric Seed, Advanced, Advertisement. Congratulations to the host for winning the lottery, thank you for participating +7, Light Ball, Superior, Electric Seed, Advanced, a bottle of negative emotion captured water, a magical liquid that can absorb negative emotions. Guarantee, strengthening the body and strengthening the body, can slightly increase the body strength. Since this time is the 10 consecutive draws of the C-level prize pool, Lin Mo won a guaranteed reward for a D-level item, the body strengthening pill. Lin Mo looked at the body enhancing pills that appeared on the table, and black lines appeared on his forehead. Have you ever seen a Daliwan with the size of your own head? What kind of Daliwan is this? Can this kind of thing be called a pill? Lin Mo looked at the body enhancing pills the size of his head on the table, feeling grudged in his heart. Obtain negative emotion value +20 from Lin Mo. Get negative emotion value +30 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value +40 from Lin Mo. Such a big meatball, won't it strengthen your body if you eat it? Of course, as a Pokémon fan, Lin Mo has read a lot of manga and anime. I know that strong physical fitness is the most important thing to be a trainer. If Ash hadn't been Mega Rookie, he would have died countless times. Ordinary common people, how can they stand up to Pikachu's Thunderbolt? As a qualified trainer, Lin Mo must also have a strong body. After all, I squeezed Pikachu and Ralts so much, in case they revenge in the future. How can you do it without a strong body? This point, Lin Mo can deeply understand. Especially after Lin Mo saw that Ralts used psychic to make a new renovation plan for his kitchen. Frightened. JPG Lin Mo's seductive and trembling version. Of course, the highlight of this lottery draw is definitely not the guaranteed big ball. It is gold legendary, light ball, which is an S-rank item. Although there are no props in the game in this world. But there are many natural secret treasures in the secret realm. It is similar to the props in the game. Light ball, the role in the game is that if it is carried by Pikachu, it can double Pikachu's double attack. As a carrying item, either parent carries the prop soft-boiled, and the hatched Piku can learn Volt Tackle. In this world, Light Ball roughly has the functions in the game, and belongs to special secret treasure. Advertisement. It is different from common secret treasure, which greatly increases experience and has a probability of increasing individual value and aptitude. Light Ball doesn't have these effects, and also has significant limitations. Only Pikachu can be used. In this world, Lin Mo only knows from books. Advanced Light Ball can make Pikachu double attack double. As for the more advanced Light Ball, it's not mentioned at all. And what I got was the best Light Ball, the ultimate Light Ball that no one has mentioned in the outside world. Lin Mo looked at the normal-sized Light Ball with saffron-colored fists on the table, and his heart felt hot. The best Light Ball, this is the best secret treasure. Putting it outside is at least counted in billions, a secret treasure with a price but no market. And not only that, what I drew was a light ball that had been magically modified by the system, which was different from the secret treasure of this world. Light ball, extreme carrying Pikachu can double Pikachu's physical attack and special attack ability, double attack species strength x2, and increase Pikachu's speed species strength by an additional 30 points. Swallowing has the same effect. Lin Mo looked at the light ball on the table, and couldn't help but swear. Damn it! The effect of this light ball is stronger than those abilities like Hercules and Yoga Power. Not only can it double Pikachu's double attack, but it also adds 30 points to speed species strength. Originally, Pikachu's speed species strength was only 90 points, and he was in a very embarrassing environment. It's fast, it's not going anywhere fast, and it's slow, it's impossible to appear in the space team. It's very uncomfortable. But adding the 30-point speed species strength directly changed Pikachu's embarrassing situation. Except for a very small number of beasts and quasi-gods, basically no one can beat Pikachu's speed species strength. Lin Mo looked at it and called it a good guy. This superb light ball is equivalent to adding 135 species strength to Pikachu, and the distribution is very excellent. Isn't that better than Arceus tablet? Funny? Originally, my own Pikachu was a high attack and high speed individual value distribution. Coupled with the increase of the ultimate light ball, Pikachu becomes more extreme and terrifying. A typical fast attack player, and also a double sword. Originally Pikachu's species strength was only 320 points. Now it came to 455 points. Although it is still very low, the allocation is excellent. Except for the crispy skin, there are basically no shortcomings. Lin Mo, my Pikachu looks like a great emperor. Advertisement. Chapter 36. Lin Mo looked at the top quality light ball on the table, and felt a burst of fire in his heart. And Pikachu seems to have sensed something normal at this time. One jump. Hopped on the table and kept sniffing the premium light ball with his nose curiously. It can feel the body instinctively, feel covet to the light ball in front of it. Lin Mo glanced at Pikachu, then at the ultimate light ball. His brows were suddenly frowned, and he was constantly thinking about something with his hands on his chin. This superb light ball is almost as big as his own fist, and it must be unreliable for Pikachu to carry such a thing in battle. So we can only let Pikachu eat the best light ball? When I think of the top quality light ball in front of me, the value may be as high as several hundred million. Lin Mo felt a pain in his heart. He had never seen how high a few 100 million alliance coins piled up. The result is that Pikachu will be eaten. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Mo. Get negative emotion value plus 30 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value plus 40 from Lin Mo. In the end, Lin Mo sighed slowly, and seemed to make up his mind to be normal. Pointing to the superb light ball on the table, he said, Pikachu, eat it. Pikachu, Sigma, pick up. Pikachu looked at Lin Mo in shock. Then he pointed at the top quality light ball, which was almost as big as his own head, with his small paw. It seems to be asking, "Are you sure you want me to eat this stuff? Something about the size of my head?" Lin Mo also understood what Pikachu meant, nodded seriously, and continued, "Yes, eat this superb light ball." Pikachu looked at the light ball in front of him, which was about the size of his own head, and couldn't help swallowing. A few drops of cold sweat suddenly appeared on his forehead. "If you eat this, you will die, right?" Pikachu took a step back subconsciously, just bumped into Lin Mo who was walking to the table. Lin Mo picked up the light ball and gesticulated into Pikachu's mouth. "Thoughtful," he said, "Pikachu, it seems that you can still swallow if you open your mouth a little wider." Advertisement. Pikachu looked at Lin Mo with horror in his eyes. "If you take a bite of swallow from this thing, you will definitely die, right? Pick up. Pick up. Sure enough, you still remember hating the hat, right?" Pikachu was about to run, but Lin Mo grabbed his tail. "I know it's impossible, but I'll try anyway." Pikachu. Lin Mo picked up Pikachu, and stuffed the top quality light ball into Pikachu's mouth without hesitation. "Pikachu, hello? Pokémon Alliance? Is it illegal for trainer to murder his own Pokémon? Ugh." Pikachu's mouth grew wide and he was slurring something. The system prompts kept coming from Lin Mo's ears. Obtain negative emotion value from Pikachu plus 30. Obtain negative emotion value plus 40 from Pikachu. Obtain negative emotion value plus 50 from Pikachu. Lin Mo heard the familiar system prompt, and a few black lines appeared on his forehead. Push the light ball into Pikachu's mouth even harder. "Good guy, I gave you all of my best secret treasures worth hundreds of millions. Are you still scolding me in your heart? Which trainer can be as generous as himself? I have absolutely no personal emotions involved, but I am simply helping Pikachu subdue the light ball." Well, it should be. After stuffing it for a long time, Lin Mo has stuffed most of the light ball into Pikachu's mouth. Because of the light ball, Pikachu's head also became bulging at this time. He opened his mouth wide, but made no sound. But the grudge towards Lin Mo still didn't stop in his heart. There were tears on his face. What kind of trainer would treat his Pokémon like this? Ralts was sitting on the bed, looking at Lin Mo and Pikachu curiously with his little hands in his mouth. My own psychic sensed that their relationship was very good. "Pikachu? You call this a good relationship?" In the end, under the strong plug of Lin Mo advertisement, Pikachu still swallowed the entire light ball. There are no earth-shattering scenes, everything is very ordinary. If you ignore the visual impact of Pikachu's swallow and the light ball whose head is similar to his own. At this time, Pikachu was lying on the table wanting to cry without tears. His aggrieved expression looked like normal had just been RD by a dozen big men. He said to Lin Mo weakly, pick up, why can't you cut it?" After eating such a thing, Pikachu felt like he lost half his life. Lin Mo also understood what Pikachu meant, and kept stroking the soft fur on Pikachu's back. To Pikachu said, "What if all this doesn't work? There are hundreds of millions of things, so they can't be broken." "Pikachu, so love really disappears?" Seeing Pikachu swallow's superb light ball, Lin Mo felt relieved. Although making Pikachu swallow so big looks outrageous. But the light ball is produced by the system after all, and there must be a reason why Pikachu swallowed it. The moment when Pikachu was completely eaten, light ball was perfectly absorbed by Pikachu, although no changes can be seen so far. But in the panel of the prompt system in front of Lin Mo, Pikachu's potential has become a quasi-champion level. From elite level qualification to quasi-champion level qualification. Don't underestimate that this is just a small span. But in fact, it has been particularly difficult. Elite level Pikachu is already extremely uncommon, and quasi-champion level Pikachu is unheard of. After all, Pikachu originally only had less than 400 species strength points, which already determined that the upper limit of this race must not be high. It is very uncommon to have elite qualifications, let alone quasi-championship qualifications. Of course, this is not the end. Lin Mo did not forget that he also drew an A-level prop. Electric Seed, used for electric Pokémon, it can gain a lot of experience and randomly increase the individual value of 2 Pokémon that are not full. Although it is not as amazing as the top quality light ball, this electric seed is definitely worthy of being an A-level prop. Not only can you get a lot of experience, but you can also improve the individual value of Pokémon. Although it can't change Pokémon's species strength like Light Ball. But Electric Seed is more versatile than Light Ball. It is no longer only usable on Pikachu, it can be used on all electric-type Pokémon. Lin Mo has no doubt that this Electric Seed will be able to sell for hundreds of millions of dollars if it is auctioned. Advertisement. Chapter 37. Lin Mo looked at the Electric Seed on the table, with distressed expression on his face. Pikachu has just eaten the best Light Ball worth hundreds of millions, and now he is going to eat Electric Seed again. Lin Mo glanced at Pikachu who was slumped on the table. Immediately, he took out a small notebook from his pocket and wrote it down for Pikachu. Mickey 24th, Sunny. Pikachu ate my best Light Ball and Electric Seed, worth an estimated billion Alliance coins. When breeder is over, let Pikachu work in a power plant to pay back the money. Pikachu, get negative emotion value plus 10 from Pikachu, get negative emotion value plus 20 from Pikachu, obtain negative emotion value from Pikachu plus 30. I may not be human, but you are a real dog. Have you ever seen a trainer asking for money from his Pokémon? And haven't I eaten the Electric Seed yet? Why did you write down the account first? Pikachu stood up and protested towards Lin Mo. Pika pick up. Lin Mo glanced at Pikachu, ignoring Pikachu's protest. He just picked up the Electric Seed on the table and put it in his hand, with a slight look of appreciation in his eyes. This is not so much a seed as a crystal. The whole is as transparent as crystal, and there is a golden lightning pattern in the middle of the prismatic crystal. There is also the tingling feeling of a slight electric current in the hand. Both the appearance and effect of the Electric Seed have been magically changed by the system, which is very different from the Electric Seed that Lin Mo knew in his previous life. In the game, the effect of Electric Seed is very tasteless. When the field is electric terrain, increase the defense of a stage, and now it is the ultimate treasure that cannot lose to Light Ball. After eating Electric Seed, it is estimated that Pikachu will be able to break through the potential qualification of the quasi-championship level and reach the real championship level. Even, it is very likely to be the world's first champion qualified Pikachu. Lin Mo handed the Electric Seed in his hand to Pikachu, and Pikachu snorted softly. Turn your head away, advertisement. Who wants to eat this kind of thing that will make you work for a lifetime after eating it? Pikachu, I don't want to be a real estate secret treasure slave. Looking at Pikachu's sulking look, Lin Mo couldn't help being a little amused. He comforted Pikachu, if you eat it, I will buy it for you next time if you still have a hat you like. Anyway, Pikachu owed himself so much money, just a hat. Just deduct from the money it owes itself, when will the 1 billion Alliance coins be deducted? We'll buy it another hat sometime. Skin. Pikachu didn't notice the trap in Lin Mo's words at all. It's just that Lin Mo can buy a hat for himself when he hears about it, but he doesn't feel sleepy when he hears about hats. The big dark eyes looked towards Lin Mo tentatively. When asking Lin Mo if he meant what he said, it seemed that he didn't believe Lin Mo. It's true, eat it quickly. Lin Mo put Electric Seed on Pikachu's little paw. The Electric Seed didn't want to be as scary as the Light Ball, and Pikachu didn't resist that much, picked up the Electric Seed, and stuffed it into his mouth. It's not as exhausting as Swallow's ultimate Light Ball. As soon as the Electric Seed was in the mouth, it turned into a sizzling weak electric sound and kept shuttling through Pikachu's body. The two electrical sacs on Pikachu's face began to crack and discharge outward. Seeing this scene, Lin Mo backed away in fright, for fear that Pikachu would accidentally electrocute him. At this time, Pikachu only felt a numbness in his body, and the electric current in his body was uncontrollable at all. Not to mention electric Lin Mo, even controlling the electric current in the body to use his usual moves is not enough. Skin. Pikachu froze in place, lowered his head and looked at his body in surprise. It can clearly feel that a terrifying electric current is transforming its body. This is a feeling that I didn't have before swallowing the ultimate Light Ball. Of course, there may be just that the Light Ball is too big, and Pikachu's attention is all on the Light Ball. There is no feeling that the body has been transformed. And the system panel in front of Lin Mo is frantically sending a reminder of Pikachu's upgrade. Ding! Congratulations to Pikachu for upgrading to level 12. Congratulations to Pikachu for reaching level 13. Pikachu learned skills, Electro Ball, attacks the target to cause damage. The faster the user is, the greater the power of this move. Advertisement. Congratulations to Pikachu for reaching level 14. Pikachu acquired skill, Feint. Congratulations to Pikachu for upgrading to level 20, and his strength has entered common level. Congratulations to Pikachu for upgrading to level 30, and his strength has entered the professional level. After about half a minute, the system prompts in Lin Mo's ear gradually subsided. Lin Mo looked at Pikachu's panel with joy in his eyes. Pikachu, electricity, gender, level, LV.38, professional level, ability, static electricity. Static electricity on the body can sometimes paralyze the rival that comes into contact with it. Character talent, serious. No change, individual value, HP, 25, attack, 31, special attack, 31, defense, 31, special defense, 31, speed, 31, skills, quick attack, thunderbolt, thunder shock, charm, carrying items, none. Potential, champion level. Special, species strength increase, HP, 35, physical attack, 55 plus 55, defense, 40, special attack, 50 plus 50, special defense, 50, speed, 90 plus 30, sum, 320 plus 135, the first is the individual value, the original dual defense individual value that did not reach the full value was improved by electric seed, and it directly became the full value. Pikachu is now 5V, and only 1 health point is needed to become 6V like Doran Messiah. And the skills changed from the original 6 to 12, fully doubling. The level has also changed from the original 11th level to the 38th level, and the strength has also surpassed the common and came to the professional level. There has been a qualitative leap in strength. There's no need for Ralts to run away with the old Awakens again. Pikachu's current strength can easily solve it. Most importantly, Pikachu's species strength has been improved. This is a privilege only available to shiny Pokémon. And the species strength added by Pikachu is far more than that brought by Flash. By comparison, Pikachu only lacks a color and special ability compared to shiny Pokémon. Advertisement. Chapter 38. Pickup. Feeling the power in his body, Pikachu couldn't help being a little shocked, and his eyes drifted towards Lin Mo. It seems that I still want to get another electric seed, completely forgetting how I didn't eat it before. Sure enough, even Pokémon can't escape the law of true fragrance. Lin Mo also felt Pikachu's eyes, and spread his hands helplessly. Me too. There are so many rare things like top-grade secret treasures. Lin Mo even felt that if he drew a few more, his life expectancy would be gone. From the 11th level to the 38th level, this kind of level span is almost unheard of. Should it be said that it is a top-grade secret treasure? The ultimate secret treasure is on the one hand, and on the other hand, there are also reasons why Pikachu has a low level and requires little experience to upgrade. Be aware that the higher the level, the more experience you need to upgrade. If Pikachu takes the best electrical seed at level 40, it may be almost as good as reaching level 10. 38 levels. Professional high level. As far as Lin Mo knows, many trainers can reach this level even after graduating from university. Now my own Pikachu has reached a high-level professional level all at once, if I cultivate 2 more Pokémon with professional level strength. Lin Mo can go to the Alliance to apply for a certified professional trainer and become an Alliance certified professional trainer. That's the official start of trainer's career. Not only can you get the professional trainer salary issued by the Alliance every month, but there are also many benefits and discounts in many facilities belonging to the Alliance. Lin Mo, asterisk. Ralts also used teleport to come to Pikachu at this time, looking at Pikachu curiously. I don't know what Pikachu ate, but in less than half a minute, his strength has skyrocketed so much. Ralts felt a burst of envy, and looked towards Lin Mo. Lalu. Lalu. As he spoke, he opened his mouth and gestured. Advertisement. She also wants to eat what Pikachu just ate. Later, Ralts act like charms. Walking in front of Lin Mo, he kept rubbing his head against the back of Lin Mo's hand. Obviously, the Ralts are jealous. Lin Mo looked at the jealous Ralts, and laughed in his heart. There was some helplessness on his face, and he said softly, Ralts, I don't have any of these either. If you draw a suitable one later, I'll give it to you. However, you have to behave well, wash the dishes well, and do the housework well. Afterwards, Lin Mo felt that something was wrong, and looked at the kitchen like a Syrian battlefield. He hurriedly added, it's not necessary to wash the dishes, you can cook and do housework properly in the future. After all, Bowls also cost money. What kind of family would dare to let Ralts do the dishes? Pikachu couldn't help being a little proud when he heard Lin Mo's exhortation to Ralts. He proudly puffed out his chest. It must be because he usually worked hard to generate electricity. That's why I got the reward, completely forgetting that Lin Mo just counted the money for the super light ball and electric seed on his own head. After Ralts heard Lin Mo's words, he didn't ask Lin Mo for anything. He just kept his head down and played with the hem of his skirt with both hands. After all, Pikachu came earlier than himself. It makes sense to get rewarded first. I silently made up my mind to work hard and strive to be rewarded as soon as possible. Seeing Ralts like this, Lin Mo didn't say anything, keeping his expression on the surface. My heart is full of joy, as long as Pikachu and Ralts are enough volume. You can lie flat without doing anything. The only problem now is the dolly pill on the table that is bigger than his own head. Lin Mo looked at the health-enhancing pills on the table, his expression a little embarrassed. He glanced at Pikachu with complicated emotions, and suddenly understood Pikachu's mood. This thing has its own head, how can it eat it? Advertisement. Obviously, Lin Mo is not Pikachu, and it is impossible to give swallow something as big as his own head. Of course, the main reason is that I don't have a trainer, so it's impossible for someone to put this thing in my mouth. Pikachu, I may not be human, but you are a real dog. Lin Mo took a kitchen knife from the kitchen and cut Dolly 1 into 4. Although it is still as big as a fist, at least it can fit in your mouth. Even if some of the potency of the medicine is lost, it shouldn't affect much, right? Lin Mo was thinking. While picking up a piece and putting it in his mouth, he suddenly felt a chill behind his back. Turning his head, he found Pikachu looking at him angrily. Lin Mo scratched his head in embarrassment, and said with a smile, "Well, Pikachu, am I afraid that if the light ball is cut off, the effect will not be so good?" Pick up. Pikachu didn't listen to Lin Mo's excuse at all, and lifted another big pill from the table and stuffed it into Lin Mo's mouth. It also needs to let Lin Mo feel his own pain, and let him understand what it means not to do to others what you don't want yourself to do to yourself. Woo, I really can't eat anymore. In the end, Lin Mo was still under the friendly and nuclear eyes of Pikachu. He finished eating the 4-piece Dolly 1 on the table in one fell swoop. There's no way, Pikachu's strength has reached the professional level now, and he doesn't have insulating gloves on him. If I was shocked by Pikachu, I would have to lie down for half a day. Lin Mo now regrets giving Pikachu so many good things that can increase his strength. Unexpectedly, after Pikachu improved his strength, the first person he had to deal with was himself. Crooked Alliance Association? Do you care about the Pokémon Master? Pikachu looked at Lin Mo's appearance that was the same as his before, and felt refreshed in his heart. Good and evil will be rewarded in the end, it's not that it's not time to not report. Pikachu patted his little paw triumphantly, and lay down on the sofa. Like Lin Mo, he raised his legs and watched the TV. The strength of this home counts. Pikachu, oh, happy JPG advertisement. Chapter 39. After Lin Mo swallowed the dolly pill, he felt nothing at first. With the passage of time, the location of Danshin began to become hotter. My whole body is scorching hot, as if I just took a sauna normal. Sweat continued to flow from the pores, soaking through the clothes on his body. An extremely smelly smell came from him. Lin Mo raised his hand and sniffed his cuff, almost fainted by the smell. FK. This is my most expensive suit. It's worth more than 100 alliance coins. Lin Mo hurriedly ran towards the bathroom, hoping to save his clothes again. It's a pity that the clothes have been soaked with stinky sweat, so I'm afraid I can't take them. Looking at the clothes she sacrificed, Lin Mo felt distressed. System, don't you intend to compensate me for my loss? It's a pity that the only response to him was the constant reminder sound coming from his ear. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Mo. Get negative emotion value plus 30 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value plus 40 from Lin Mo. At this time, Lin Mo's body was still oozing black stinky sweat. He knew that it was an impurity in his body, resisting the feeling of wanting to vomit, and hurriedly took a shower. After washing for half an hour, I was about to peel off my skin. The extremely stinky stench on his body gradually disappeared, and Lin Mo felt relieved. Walking out of the bathroom, I looked in the mirror to see how I had changed. Seeing himself in the mirror, Lin Mo was a little stunned. What kind of health-enhancing pill is this? This is clearly the marrow-washing pill in the novel. His originally strong body can now see the sharp-edged muscles, which is very perfect. The withered yellow on the face due to malnutrition all year round also disappeared and became flawless. The skin is also as pink and tender as a baby, and the 8-pack abdominal muscles are clearly defined, no matter from which angle it looks perfect. Lin Mo put on the towel and couldn't wait to get out of the bathroom. Pikachu, see if I've become more handsome. Pikachu was sitting on the sofa watching TV. On the TV, a skit is playing. Man, after I take a shower, I always feel so handsome. Female, is it possible that the brain is flooded? Pikachu glanced at the TV, then at Lin Mo who was wearing a bath towel, and pointed to the TV with his paw. Advertisement Pika Pickup. He looked at Lin Mo tentatively, and asked if Lin Mo had lost his mind. Lin Mo. He suffered the biggest blow in his life. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Mo. Get negative emotion value plus 30 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value plus 40 from Lin Mo. Lin Mo grabbed the remote control and turned off the TV with a black face. What TV are you watching? Why don't you go to exercise? Pick up. Pick up. Pikachu curled his lips in disdain, and didn't intend to leave the sofa at all. Neither of them watched TV, they looked at each other and became deadlocked. At this time, there was a smell of burning something. Both Pikachu and Lin Mo were disgusted by the smell and hurriedly covered their noses. They began to look for the source of the smell, and looked at each other with distaste. Pikachu. You just farted. Pika Pika. It's you who farts. At this time, in the kitchen, Ralts is using psychic to bring out plate after plate of dishes. While Lin Mo was taking a shower, the newly bought tableware just arrived. Signed by Ralts, Ralts is also very obedient, and started to work as soon as he received the tableware. Prepare dinner for Pikachu and Lin Mo lalu lalu. Ralts warmly greeted Lin Mo and Pikachu to come and prepare dinner. Pikachu and Lin Mo looked at each other, and found that the other's eyes were full of horror. He struggled to get up from the sofa and walked to the dining table. Looking at the dishes on the table, he couldn't help swallowing a mouthful of saliva. Cold sweat dripped down unconsciously on his forehead. The cuisines on the table are not in the same style as Ralts. This is food that can only be made by ghosts, right? There is a gloomy black air floating on every dish. On the other hand, Ralts put his hips on his hips proudly, expressing that he was working hard. Lin Mo looked at the confident Ralts, with a bit of bitterness in the corner of his mouth. Feeling Ralts' cooking talent is negative. Advertisement this thing, even the rhubarb in the orphanage is better than her. Of course, as a trainer, Lin Mo can't dampen Ralts' self-confidence too much. Looking at the plates of dark dishes on the table, he said against his will, it can be seen that there is still a lot of room for improvement in Ralts' cooking. Pick up. Pick up. Pikachu also echoed with an ugly face. The two looked at each other at the same time, it was time to show their real skills. Lin Mo had quick eyes and quick hands, and he was the first to attack Pikachu. Pikachu, you worked hard today, saving Ralts and training to improve your strength. Reward you for looking up at the starry sky and nourishing your body. Lin Mo picked up a fish head and put it into Pikachu's bowl. Pikachu, Sigma, frightened JPG Pikachu looked at the fish head in the bowl, and the eerie black air kept wafting from the fish head. Some reluctantly smiled, and clamped the fish head to Lin Mo again. Pika Pickup. Pikachu knew that Lin Mo had worked hard all day, so he gave the fish head to Lin Mo to make up for it. No, no, you're the one who worked harder. Rescue the Ralts, you are number one. How can Pikachu play against the cunning Lin Mo, the fish head he just sent out? He was sent to his own bowl by Lin Mo again. Lalu. Lalu. Ralts really had a small head, and there was a nice smile on the corner of his mouth. Looking at Pikachu and Lin Mo with a happy face, it is really great that they can enjoy their meals. Pikachu glanced at the Ralts in front of him, and then at the fish head in front of him. He wanted to refuse, but found that Lin Mo next to him had already used his urine escape and slipped into the toilet. Now only Ralts was left looking at him expectantly. Good dong. Pikachu swallowed hard, and clenched his little paws into fists. It seemed that he was making up his mind. Normal, under Ralts' hopeful eyes. Closing his eyes, as if going to die in a heroic way, Normal lightly took a bite of the fish head in the bowl. Then there is no more. Pikachu collapsed on the table foaming at the mouth. If nothing else, it should be an accident. Advertisement. Chapter 40. Lin Mo looked at a plate of Pikachu that was lying on the table, his eyes turned into circles, and his mouth was still foaming. There was a burst of panic. Comma number. Surprised.jpg I didn't expect the food made by Ralts to be so powerful. Pikachu took only one bite before losing consciousness and falling into a coma. If you ate it yourself, wouldn't you die? Lin Mo looked at the fish head in his bowl, as if he was still alive, with resentful eyes, staring at himself. Cold sweat slowly trickled down from his forehead, and he swallowed very hard. Just about to refuse, he looked at Ralts who was looking at him expectantly. I wanted to refuse, but I couldn't open my mouth anyway. Like Pikachu, Lin Mo couldn't bear to refuse the little guy's kindness. Lin Mo looked around, trying to find a chance of survival. Suddenly, Lin Mo's eyes rested on the table in the living room. On the table, there were bottles of small jars similar to the salt shakers placed in the breakfast shop, neatly and orderly. That was the delicious powder that was drawn in the D-level prize pool just now. Lin Mo saw the delicious powder slap on the forehead suddenly, feeling a little regretful. I just immersed myself in the joy of light ball and electric seed, and I forgot about it. If I had remembered earlier, Pikachu would not have sacrificed. So, Lin Mo got up slowly, and walked towards the table in the living room under Ralt's suspicious eyes. After returning with a bottle of delicious powder, Lin Mo noticed the doubt in Ralt's eyes. Seriously explained, well, Ralts, I have a strong taste. Put some salt in it to enhance the taste. Lin Mo held the delicious powder in his hand and kept sprinkled towards the meals on the table. Fearing that the quantity is not enough, each dish is extravagantly sprinkled a few times. Lalu. Ralts looked at Lin Mo's continuous sprinkling of delicious powder on the dishes on the table, still a little puzzled. Do humans really eat so much salt? From the recipes I saw, it seems that only a little salt is enough. Advertisement. Lin Mo was still spreading the delicious powder, and every time he sprinkled it, the black air around the food on the table was reduced by a little. Lin Mo didn't stop until the food on the table was sprinkled until the golden light of the gourmet fan came out. Next second, these dark dishes immediately exuded an incomparable aroma. Seduce Lin Mo's appetite. Feeling the tempting aroma from the food, Lin Mo nodded in satisfaction. Ralts also smelled the aroma, and nodded thoughtfully. It seems that putting so much salt is not bad, and it smells delicious. Then let yourself do the same next time. Pick up. Even Pikachu, who had fainted and foamed at the mouth, was awakened by the smell when he smelled the alluring aroma. He opened his eyes in a daze, as if he didn't remember being poisoned by the cooking made by Ralts just now. Pikachu, are you awake? Taste the food Ralts cooked for us. Lin Mo didn't dare to test the poison, and fooled Pikachu again. Pikachu was a little dazed, looked at the food on the table, and scratched his head. How could I remember that just now, there were plates of dark dishes full of black air on the table? Could it be that you are sleepy? Pikachu didn't bother with these, picked up a fish head from the plate and put it into his own bowl. Looking at the fish head in the bowl, Pikachu always felt that he had seen this fish head somewhere. But at this time, it can't care so much. The seductive aroma kept permeating into Pikachu's nostrils. Pikachu's stomach has already made a grunt sound, and he is already so hungry that his chest is pressed against his back. Pikachu bit down on the head of the fish. This time, no fainting. Instead, the eyes turned into stars, shining golden light. Pikachu has never eaten such delicious food. Pick up. A thumbs up is a compliment to Ralts. Oh praise.jpg advertisement. Ralts was also very happy to be praised by Pikachu, his little hands were holding the hem of the skirt and his face was a little red. Lalu. Lalu. Since you like it so much, I'll make it for you tomorrow, pick up. Pick up. Pikachu nodded excitedly. Lin Mo looked at the two little guys although he didn't understand what they were saying. But judging from Ralts' expression, the little guy is quite happy. Pikachu is quite talented in raising babies. Just looking at such a warm scene, why do I feel a little bad psychologically? Lin Mo shook his head, just as a psychological effect. Pick up the dishes on the table with chopsticks and start enjoying the feast. After a day of running around, they were already hungry. After 3 times, 5 times, and 2 times, the food on the table was wiped out. In less than 10 minutes, all the food on the table was eaten up. Lin Mo slumped on the chair with his stomach outstretched, eating very contentedly. It was already the best thing he had ever eaten in his life. I can't believe that this powerful delicious powder is actually something drawn from the D-level prize pool. Lin Mo sorted out the proceeds from the lucky draw just now. Lin Mo has already used up a bottle of delicious powder. There are still 9 bottles left, and now I still have a bottle of negative emotion value collection water left, and a bottle of Durex. Negative emotional value collect water. This item can get the negative emotional value of the creature who drank the bottle of water. It can be regarded as an auxiliary item that can quickly obtain negative emotional value. The only regret is that there is only 1 bottle. The rest is Durex. Looking at the small box on the table, Lin Mo's good mood of eating and drinking disappeared in an instant. His complexion immediately darkened. This broken system is going to make things difficult for him, right? Already through one and another one? Think of all the things I have been cheated on. Grudge suddenly surged in Lin Mo's heart. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Mo. Get negative emotion value plus 30 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value plus 40 from Lin Mo. Advertisement. Chapter 41. Lin Mo sorted out the props he got. Then click on the system panel. Looking at the negative emotion points that he had already consumed, he felt a little troubled. I have already harvested a lot of negative emotion points, but the opportunity like last time is completely out of reach. If it weren't for being a whistleblower, it would be impossible for Su Ping'an to stand up and let himself brush his negative emotions. There are more than a dozen big brothers. If this was not in front of the investigator, I am afraid that I would have been beaten to death long ago. How can there be so many negative emotional points to brush? Therefore, Lin Mo decided to find a safe way to brush negative emotion next time. Lin Mo lay down on the sofa, thinking from side to side, but for a while, he couldn't think of any good way to clear up negative emotions. Why don't you go find a shampoo room? Lin Mo hesitated a little, and this time he met a trainer who was as capable as the owner of the shampoo room before. With Pikachu around, I am not afraid. But how to report is a troublesome matter, if Zhu Qin is finally asked to lead him. That's really impossible to wash off even if you jump into the Yellow River. No, change it. Lin Mo felt a little scared when he thought of Zhu Qin's angry grudge soaring to the sky. Shaking his head hastily, he denied the proposal in his heart. Do you want to stop bargaining with the owner of the previous breeding house? Lin Mo looked at the negative emotions on the table and collected the water, and a flash of inspiration came to his mind. Suddenly realized that he patted his forehead, he really didn't use the magical tool, and ran to think about it. If this idea of mine can come true, then... Hey. Thinking of this, Lin Mo couldn't help laughing, and Pikachu looked at the smile on Lin Mo's face. He sighed helplessly. Every time Lin Mo showed this smile, he would be tricked again. Advertisement. After Ralt's dark cooking just now, Lin Mo also confirmed the efficacy of delicious powder. No matter how unpalatable dark dishes are, they can be turned into delicious ones, making people or Pokémon can't help but want to eat them. So delicious powder and negative emotion collection water is not the perfect match? Delicious powder makes people want to eat, and negative emotions collect water to collect negative emotion value for themselves. But the only problem is that Lin Mo doesn't know what to do. Make snacks, it's not easy for small vendors these days. I don't have any stall certificate for setting up a stall. If I am not careful, my things will be confiscated by the city management. It's not worth it, and the cost is relatively high. Lin Mo doesn't like to do such high-cost things. Once he loses, he will lose everything. It's still free prostitution. No, it's still a low-cost thing that suits you better. Lin Mo lay on the sofa, thinking hard again. Looking at Pikachu lying beside him, he seemed to think of something again. Why don't you try the energy cube? Lin Mo was a little hesitant, but energy cubes were a good choice. First of all, the materials themselves are basically available, and the energy cubes use less materials. Such a bottle of negative emotion collection water can collect more negative emotion values. But the only flaw is that I haven't made an energy cube myself. And there is no sales channel. If there is no sales channel, basically no one will buy your power cubes. After all, people who can be trainers are basically not short of money, and they will not be greedy for such a small gain. In case something goes wrong with your own Pokémon, the unlucky one is the trainer. Lin Mo fell into a dilemma, and looked at the balance in his card. I also estimated and compared the money consumed by the two options. In the end, Lin Mo decisively chose to make energy cubes. After all, I also like PRSTUs, no, I like low-cost solutions. Advertisement. Just do what you say. Lin Mo is also unambiguous, and immediately sat up from the sofa. Take out all the tree fruits you bought today, and start to make energy cubes. Low-level energy cubes are easy to manufacture, and there are basically recipes on the internet. As long as the intermediate energy cubes are rare, some formulas will basically not be announced. It is necessary for the breeders to figure out or buy the recipes themselves. Lin Mo read some recipes of low-level energy cubes on the internet. Start making energy cubes by yourself, relying on the knowledge of Pokémon in the previous life and the ability of the tree fruit. It is not difficult for Lin Mo to make low-level energy cubes. Lin Mo made a low-level energy cube with only 2 mistakes. Ralts and Pikachu saw Lin Mo making energy cubes, and surrounded him curiously. Lin Mo saw these 2 curious little guys, and handed the manufactured energy cube to the 2 little guys. Ralts, Pikachu, try this power cube. Later, Lin Mo himself put the energy cube into his mouth and planned to taste it himself. At the entrance of White's energy cube, the initial feeling was extremely sour. After the sour feeling, there is a long-lasting bitter taste lingering on the tip of the tongue. The 2 little guys shook their heads, and after eating the energy cube, they also shook their heads from the pain. Hastily spit out the energy cube. Obtain negative emotion value from Pikachu plus 30. Get negative emotion value plus 20 from Ralts. Obtain negative emotion value from Pikachu plus 30. Get negative emotion value plus 20 from Ralts. Not to mention the 2 little guys, even Lin Mo himself would not want to take a second bite. Spit the energy cube directly into the trash can. However, the first step of making energy cubes was finally completed. Next, is how to improve the formula. Advertisement. Chapter 42. Lin Mo has already figured out a rough plan. Low-level energy cubes are worthless. If you can't attract enough trainers, then you can upgrade the formula yourself to make mid-level energy cubes, which is attractive enough. The recipe for mid-level energy cubes, although rare, but it was also refined by the breeders with their own Pokémon ability and the taste of tree fruit. If the energy cubes made are too unpalatable, regardless of the taste of Pokémon, then not many Pokémon would be willing to eat this kind of thing, and even eat it and lose the intimacy with trainer. Therefore, taste is also a major difficulty in making energy cubes. But Lin Mo has delicious powder in hand, so he doesn't need to think about the taste of energy cubes at all. The only thing to do now is how to make the energy cube nutritious. After all, the power cube still needs to be nutritious, and it is good for Pokémon, which is the selling point of the power cube. It is much easier for Lin Mo to improve the recipe without considering the taste. Put many classic nutritious but poor tasting combinations into the formula of your own energy cubes. Crafted with a berry maker. Experiment one by one, and pick the one that meets your requirements. Lin Mo spent 5 hours on this experiment. It was completely dark. Month celebrity thin. Lin Mo finally improved the formula. Successful. Lin Mo looked at a small piece of White's energy cube in his hand, and his face couldn't help but rejoice. This is the mid-level energy cube formula he improved from the low-level energy cube formula. This energy cube is less targeted, and it is used for breeders' special Pokémon, and the effect is not as good as the energy cube for this Pokémon. But the advantage is that it is versatile, no matter what Pokémon can eat this energy cube. Moreover, this energy cube Lin Mo also cost a lot, and the manufacturing cost is almost twice that of an energy cube of the same level. The taste is completely abandoned, and only the nutritional aspect is pursued. Advertisement. It can be said that on Pokémon's breeder, this energy cube is definitely the top one among the mid-level energy cubes. It's just that if you really make energy cubes according to Lin Mo's recipe, then it is not necessarily guaranteed that your own Pokémon will turn against you after eating it. The taste of this food is absolutely no less than that of Ralt's dark cuisine. Lin Mo ate the previous energy cube, but now he still has a bitter taste in his mouth. This time the energy cube is definitely 10 times more unpalatable than the previous energy cube. Lin Mo dare not try it randomly. Directly add negative emotion collection water and delicious powder to create another energy cube. Looking at the glittering golden energy cube in his hand, Lin Mo couldn't help but want to eat it. Fortunately, my self-control is relatively strong, so I can control it. Put the power cube in your hand and give the 2 little ones a try. Pikachu, Ralts, try this power cube this time. As soon as Lin Mo finished speaking, the 2 little guys disappeared, hiding behind the sofa and not daring to come out. Pick up. Lalu. It seems to be a protest against Lin Mo's practice of using them to test drugs. Lin Mo looked at the two little guys hiding behind the sofa, and couldn't help but feel a little amused. Don't worry, it will definitely be delicious this time, come and try it. Lin Mo handed over the energy cube in his hand. Pikachu sniffed it, and smelled an extremely alluring aroma. Immediately, he came out from behind the sofa, picked up an energy cube in Lin Mo's hand and ate it. Seeing Pikachu's appearance, Ralts hurriedly picked up the energy cube in Lin Mo's hand and ate it. It's just that it makes it a little puzzled, why is this energy cube so similar to the taste of my own cooking? The two little guys had just finished eating the energy cubes when Lin Mo heard a system prompt. Use emotion to collect water, collect negative emotion value from Pikachu plus 90. Use emotion to collect water, collect negative emotion value from Ralts plus 50. Advertisement. Lin Mo couldn't help but smile when he heard the system notification sound coming from his ear. It seems that he has seen a steady stream of negative emotional values rushing towards him. Using negative emotions to collect water can collect a lot of negative emotions at one time. Although it is a one-off, it can't stand to confiscate too much at once. Pikachu has nearly 100 points at a time, and the remaining negative emotions can be collected into a lot of energy cubes. Seeing that the two little guys had finished eating the energy cubes, Lin Mo hurriedly packed the remaining energy cubes in a sealed bag. Afraid that he might have the urge to eat, he cautiously asked Pikachu, "How is it? Does Pikachu feel anything physically?" Skin. Pikachu was a little confused by Lin Mo's sudden question. Scratching his little head in doubt, he blinked his eyes at the innocent Lin Mo. Can energy cubes still feel? Feeling full yet? However, less than 10 seconds after Lin Mo finished asking the question, Pikachu felt something was wrong. My stomach gurgles like boiling water, making a normal sound. His face suddenly sank. Pika Pika. You are poisoned. Pikachu looked at Lin Mo, clutching his belly, his face was very gloomy. That, just added a million laxatives. Lin Mo looked at Pikachu and smiled embarrassingly. After all, there are not many such opportunities. If it's just by collecting water and harvesting a batch of negative emotional points that exist in them, that's fine. But it cannot maximize utility. Lin Mo thought of this problem when he was making the energy cube, so he added a million dots of laxatives into it when he was making the energy cube. It is even said that laxatives are the core of this formula. The formula comes with laxatives, even if the alpaca comes. Advertisement. Chapter 43. The biggest function of laxatives is to make the Pokémon that eats the energy cube generate another batch of negative emotion points. If you can reap the negative emotions brought about by confiscating water, let them regenerate a batch of negative emotion values. This can be regarded as a qualified system owner. Is there anything more satisfying than just plucking the wool clean? I just want to add a little bit of laxative to the energy cube to help those Pokémon who are constipated and clear their stomachs. What's wrong with me? To blame is to blame this laxative for not being able to distinguish Pokémon from constipation, right? Unblock the Pokémon that was not constipated. After the two little guys ate the energy cubes, they felt relieved because they collected the water. But after feeling the sound of gurgling coming from the stomach, the mood became a little uncomfortable again. Obtain negative emotion value from Pikachu plus 30. Obtain negative emotion value plus 40 from Pikachu, get negative emotion value plus 20 from Ralts. Get negative emotion value plus 30 from Ralts. Listening to the pleasant voice constantly coming from his ears, Lin Mo nodded with satisfaction. As expected of me. A small Arnold energy cube can earn 2 waves of negative emotion points. It is worthwhile to improve the formula and spend a lot of money. This energy cube was built at twice the cost of a normal mid-level energy cube. Delicious powder, negative emotion collection water, and laxatives to clear the stomach. Which is not money. This is not counting my own labor costs. And Pikachu they only need to pay a little negative emotion value to get such a delicious energy cube. Isn't this blood money? Just when Lin Mo was complacent, Lin Mo was greeted by a saffron-colored electric current as white as a fist. There is also a pale purple psychic light wave hitting Lin Mo together. Lin Mo was directly shocked and collapsed on the sofa. Pick up. Pick up. Lalu. Lalu. The two little ones, Pikachu and Ralts, clutched their stomachs and hurried into the bathroom. Advertisement. It seems that he is very dissatisfied with Lin Mo's poisoning. But the two little guys are still very measured. At dawn, Lin Mo woke up from a coma. I just feel a tingling sensation all over my body, which is the sequelae of being stunned by Pikachu yesterday. Lin Mo looked at the two little ones who were still sound asleep, and Lin Mo didn't bother them either. After all, the two little guys had paid too much yesterday. It's not because I'm afraid that the effect of the laxative is still there. The two little guys got up and beat themselves up again. Lin Mo packed up his things, washed up briefly, and then went out. Since Lin Mo chooses to use energy cubes to harvest negative emotion points, the berries he bought before are definitely not enough. The tree berries I bought before are only about a month's worth of Pikachu. Yesterday, when I was researching the formula of the intermediate energy cube, I have almost used up the berries I bought. Need to buy some more today. Walking to the familiar commercial street, Lin Mo skillfully turned into a corner and found yesterday's breeder house. The new store discount sign outside the breeder house has been removed and replaced with a brand new sign. Dogs and Lin Mo are not allowed. Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value plus 20 from Lin Mo. Get negative emotion value plus 30 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value plus 40 from Lin Mo. As for? Didn't the boss cut the price by a few 100 million points? There is such a sign here. Lin Mo pretended not to be careful about the low kick sign while no one was around. Oops. My foot slipped. Then he ran into Breeder's house in a flash. The shop manager was reading the newspaper at the counter, and when he saw that it was Lin Mo who came, his face was full of disgust. Why you? Advertisement. After speaking, he made a gesture to drive Lin Mo outside. Don't worry. Uncle, I'm here this time to do business with you. Don't do it. The shop manager didn't believe Lin Mo's nonsense at all. Seeing this, Lin Mo had no choice but to take out another dozen vouchers from himself. If you don't do it, I'll stand on the road and send out these vouchers one by one. When the shopkeeper saw this pile of vouchers, his mentality was about to collapse. Why do you still have vouchers? Don't worry about it, I have it anyway. Lin Mo said, looking outside, as if looking for a good target. Seeing this, the uncle owner hurriedly stopped Lin Mo. He no longer remembers how many vouchers he has copied, but the ones in Lin Mo's hands are going to be sent out. Then this month is really a waste of time. Tell me. What is big business? The uncle owner has no choice but to let Lin Mo lead him by the nose. Lin Mo was also well prepared and took out the list he had made out of his pocket. Very proudly said, I want 100 of the above materials. Figgy berry, green orange fruit, thunder fruit. The uncle owner looked down at Lin Mo's list, his eyes gradually turned into shock. If 100 copies of each came, it would really be a big deal. The above materials add up to 200,000 alliance coins. You really didn't lie to me? Tell me first, you can't use the voucher this time, and the previous discounts are gone. The uncle owner couldn't believe it, and asked Lin Mo. I'm afraid that Lin Mo will give him all the discounts again, or use the thick stack of vouchers in his hand to make another wave of 0 yuan purchases. Of course, I lied to you as a puppy. Lin Mo patted his chest confidently, as if he had completely forgotten that the money in his card was not enough for 200,000. Those things on the list add up to 200,000 alliance coins. Advertisement. Chapter 44. Within 10 minutes, the shopkeeper had already prepared the goods for Lin Mo. Although the berries are basically growth in the secret realm, the berries that Lin Mo needs are common berries in some E-level secret realms. The breeder house will regularly organize expeditions to enter the secret area to collect tree fruits. So there is a lot of stock, and Lin Mo bought about 200,000 alliance coins at once. It can be regarded as helping the uncle of the shop owner to clear the inventory. Otherwise, the uncle owner would have kicked Lin Mo out of the house with a broom. These fruit trees will help you to send them back to the address you need. With a flattering smile on his face, the shopkeeper uncle kept rubbing his hands, flattering him. A better breeder house makes money by selling Pokémon, but a breeder house like his can only make money by selling berries. Although the unit price of tree fruit is not high, the profit is much higher than other commodities. This is also the reason why the shopkeeper left Lin Mo. One is to clear the inventory. The second is that the uncle of the shop owner took a fancy to the line behind Lin Mo. To be able to eat so many berries with ease, there are at least 2 intermediate breeders behind Lin Mo. After all, looking at Lin Mo's out of the ordinary appearance, no one would have guessed that Lin Mo would make mid-level energy cubes. If possible, the uncle owner hopes to cooperate with the 2 mid-level breeders behind Lin Mo provide the fruit themselves, they only need to make intermediate energy cubes. Lin Mo was a little caught off guard when he saw the sudden change in the shopkeeper's attitude. He said to the uncle, "Recover, I still prefer your rebellious attitude before. My heart is silently refreshed, I finally have a day to say this to others." Get plus 30 negative emotion value from Li Dachuan, obtained from Li Dachuan's negative emotion value plus 40. Get plus 50 negative emotion value from Li Dachuan. Uncle Shopkeeper. You must feel comfortable if I drive you out with a broom, right? Cheap or not? Advertisement. Of course, the shopkeeper guessed what Lin Mo wanted so many fruit from. Naturally, he didn't dare to offend Lin Mo, suppressing the grudge in his heart, and asked Lin Mo with a smile on his face, "Card or cash?" "Swipe your card." Lin Mo took out the bank card that Zhu Qin gave him from his pocket. Completely ignoring the fact that Carrie does not have 200,000 alliance coins at all. The uncle owner took the bank card and swiped it skillfully on the credit card machine. Drib. There is not enough balance on the card. A crisp female voice came out. The uncle owner was a little stunned, and his first reaction was that the machine was broken. Brushed again a few times. Drib. There is not enough balance on the card. Drib. There is not enough balance on the card. The uncle owner looked at Lin Mo helplessly, and Lin Mo showed an innocent smile on his face. Scratching his head in embarrassment, he asked embarrassingly, "That, can I get a discount?" Uncle Shopkeeper, shocked.jpg. It was the first time that the shopkeeper uncle saw such a shameless person in his life. Shocked and speechless, it took a long time before he stammered to Lin Mo and said, didn't you say no discount?" He also said that cheating is a puppy. Lin Mo, wow. A barking dog is exchanged for 30,000 alliance coins. I believe that as long as most people will make the same choice as themselves. The shopkeeper's uncle opened his mouth wide and his pupils contracted to the extreme. Shocked by Lin Mo's shameless behavior, he was speechless. This. What kind of person is this, to make such a shameless move? Advertisement. How about your morals? Get plus 50 negative emotion value from Li Dachuan, get plus 50 negative emotion value from Li Dachuan, get plus 50 negative emotion value from Li Dachuan. Seeing that the shopkeeper was dumb from shock, Lin Mo hastily added, "Otherwise, uncle, can you give me those worthless tree fruits in the back? This is not a discount." In fact, Lin Mo planned to see if he could get these cheap berries from the very beginning. It's just that the shopkeeper uncle's attitude is too firm, and he will drive himself out as soon as he meets. That's why I didn't have the nerve to speak. Uncle Shopkeeper, thank you. But the money on the Nahi card is really not enough, so Lin Mo naturally has to play the King of Jiangnan bargaining level. The uncle owner has been shocked by Lin Mo's shameless operation. Looking at Lin Mo's serious look, the uncle owner could only nod his head in agreement. Lin Mo does not know how to configure energy cubes. This request must have been made by the two intermediate breeders behind him. The uncle of the shop owner gave Lin Mo a discount entirely in the face of the mid-level breeder family behind Lin Mo. The thing of 200,000 alliance coins was taken with only 150,000 alliance coins. In order to express his sincerity, the uncle of the shop owner gave Lin Mo another 20,000 alliance coins cheaper. Let's say it first, if you have any good energy cubes, remember to sell them to me. The uncle owner did not forget to remind Lin Mo, lest Lin Mo forget his kindness. After Lin Mo heard what the shopkeeper said, he was taken aback for a moment, and then nodded. I was a little puzzled in my heart, how did the shopkeeper know that he could make energy cubes? But Lin Mo didn't think too much about it, he just thought that the shopkeeper was keenly aware of the fact that he had bought so many tree fruits. Check out and go home full of joy. Advertisement. Chapter 45. On the way home, Lin Mo also stopped by the pharmacy and bought all the strong laxatives in the pharmacy. After all, laxatives are the core formula. This time, it only cost less than 5,000 alliance coins. The price in this world is not too high as long as it has nothing to do with Pokémon. Lin Mo returned home with the laxative, and the two little ones were still asleep. There is a trace of crystal clear in the corner of the mouth. After all, Ralts have not been in this world for long, and they are still babies. Except for going out with myself when necessary, I basically stay in rest all day. As for Pikachu, pure laziness. Lin Mo didn't disturb their sleep either, quietly waiting for the fruit from the breeder house to arrive. Although Lin Mo cheated a lot of alliance coins, the owner did not cut corners, and the service of the breeder house was really good. Within half an hour, the fruit had been packed and delivered to Lin Mo's door. Lin Mo is also preparing to make energy cubes. Although I promised the shopkeeper that there are intermediate energy cubes to be sold in his breeder house. But this energy cube with a lot of laxatives added, Lin Mo definitely can't put it in the breeding house for sale. After all, if you buy the trainer of this energy cube, if you come to the door, you can easily find yourself. To be on the safe side, Lin Mo decided to sell this energy cube on the black market. The egg that hatched Ralts before was bought by the uncle of the Gardevoir shampoo on the black market. Lin Mo also analyzed a lot of information about the black market from Su Ping'an's few words. One is that the black market will not register the identity of the trainer, which is conducive to concealing one's identity. The second is that there are many things that are officially prohibited by the Alliance on the black market, and are basically not under the jurisdiction of the Alliance. It's a good fit for him to sell this jet block. Advertisement. Lin Mo took out the semi-automatic energy cube manufacturing machine, peeled the fruit, and started to manufacture energy cubes. The two little ones, Pikachu and Ralts, smelled a strong and attractive fragrance in their sleep. Immediately woke up from the dream, opened his eyes. I saw Lin Mo holding a large cauldron in the kitchen, and inside the cauldron was a strange black-red liquid. The black-red liquid was still bubbling out. Lin Mo kept stirring the liquid in the pot with a soup spoon. Like in a fairy tale, the evil witch is brewing poison. The two little guys trembled in fright and snuggled up to each other. Smelling the rich aroma wafting from the kitchen, saliva was continuously secreted from the mouth. Yet, Ralts and Pikachu, are you awake? How about some? This is a new one I made. Lin Mo asked while looking at the two little guys peeping behind the door. The two little guys suddenly seemed to recall something terrible. Normal's expression darkened. Shook his head frantically. In the end, I was afraid that I couldn't help the captivate, so I got into the Pokeball. A familiar system prompt sounded in Lin Mo's ear. Get Pikachu negative emotion value plus 30. Get Ralts negative emotion value plus 20. Get Pikachu negative emotion value plus 30. Get Ralts negative emotion value plus 20. After all, they really don't want to experience the feeling of exhaustion a second time. Lin Mo watched the two little guys get into the Pokeball, and couldn't help but feel a little amused. I didn't expect these two little guys to have such a big shadow on this thing. Advertisement stretched out a finger to touch the bubbling black-red liquid in the pot. Put it in your mouth. As expected of me. The taste is really delicious. Lin Mo also knows the power of delicious powder. As long as it is a creature that smells it, he can't help but want to eat it. So in order to prevent himself from being poisoned by the medicine, Lin Mo has not put negative emotion collection water and strong laxatives into it. Just put delicious powder and use the normal process to make energy cubes. I didn't expect these two little guys to have such a big reaction. After making all the jet cubes, Lin Mo quickly put the jet cubes into small bags to isolate the aroma of delicious powder. Lin Mo looked at the jet cubes piled up in front of him, and felt a surge in his heart. Just to make these, I used up all the tree fruits I bought today, and used up 2 bottles of delicious powder. These are negative sentiment points and alliance coins. Lin Mo packed all the energy cubes, and after dressing up, he disguised himself as a somewhat fierce middle-aged uncle. Lin Mo couldn't recognize himself when he saw him, so Lin Mo felt relieved, took Pikachu and Ralts and went out. Because the place I went to today is quite special, Lin Mo only released Pikachu. No hat, afraid of being exposed in the future, Ralts were not released. After all, the black market is a place where dragons and snakes are mixed, and flash Ralts are extremely rare in the entire alliance. Afraid of being missed by others, Lin Mo had no choice but to let Ralts stay in the Pokeball. The Ralts didn't mind that either. Anyway, she can also perceive the outside world with her powerful psychic, and it's okay to stay in the Pokeball. After leaving the house, Lin Mo took a taxi and sat near the black market. The black market is not too far away, less than 20 minutes by car. Basically, experienced trainers know the existence of the black market, and you can find a lot of good things here. Of course, the chances of being deceived are also higher. Opportunities and risks coexist. Advertisement. Chapter 46. Coming to the black market, Lin Mo didn't rush to sell energy cubes first, but started shopping in the black market. Although it was approaching lunchtime, the black market was still crowded with people. The yelling of all kinds of stalls is like the normal bustle of the vegetable market in the morning. Don't miss it when you pass by. 1 million alliance coins, you can't buy it and suffer. You can't buy it and be fooled. But you can buy a quasi-god egg with gym-level qualifications. A yell attracted Lin Mo's attention. Quasi-divine eggs? Are there such rare quasi-divine eggs in the black market? Lin Mo was a little surprised, and walked towards the source of the sound. Among the crowd, an uncle who set up a stall was constantly yelling at the surrounding crowd, holding a gold-plated Pokémon egg in his hand. If you don't look carefully, it's really similar to the Pokémon egg of Doran Messia before. It's just a pity that the panel of this Pokémon egg has already passed before Lin Mo's eyes. Zigzagoon normal gender, level, LV.0, egg stage, ability, pick up. There is a chance to pick up various props, character talent, timid, speed plus, attack individual values, HP, 0, attack, 17, special attack, 0, defense, 3, special defense, 21, speed, 25. Skills, none. Carrying items, none. Potential, common level. This Pokémon egg is not a quasi-god egg at all, but a zigzagoon on the rotten street. And the qualification of this zigzagoon is not high. If you really buy it according to the quasi-divine egg, you will definitely lose all your underwear. Thanks to this uncle, Lin Mo also saw for the first time how capable these street vendors in the black market are. Brother, why don't you want a quasi-divine egg? The uncle stall owner noticed that Lin Mo had been staring at the Pokémon egg in his hand, thinking that Lin Mo was hooked, and asked Lin Mo. Lin Mo also squatted down when he heard this, and observed the Pokémon egg more carefully. Advertisement I learned from Pokémon for identification, the pattern faintly reveals the gilt gold, and presents a pattern of a crown. Quasi-gods can't be wrong, and I boldly conclude that this is a descendant of the desert tyrant Banjula's. That's Larvitar's Pokémon egg. Lin Mo ignored the stall owner, but said to the surrounding crowd. The people around immediately started talking. Larvitar? That's a big hit among quasi-gods. Bang Ellis is the absolute core of the Sandstorm team. If it's really Larvitar, 1 million alliance coins will be a bargain. The people around looked at the Pokémon egg in the hands of the uncle with fiery eyes. The uncle stall owner was a little puzzled. I don't remember ever hiring this person as a trustee. Many passers-by in the crowd had shocked expressions on their faces, and a few others also showed the same puzzlement as the stall owner's face. This brother is also a trustee like us? One of them immediately shouted among the crowd after hearing Lin Mo's words, me. I want to buy this quasi-divine egg. Then a few of the crowd also hurriedly shouted, no. I want to buy it too. The quasi-divine egg is mine. Let's see who dares to snatch it from me. After such a hype, some trainers in the crowd who didn't know the truth couldn't sit still. Lin Mo also said fiercely, not to be outdone, the quasi-divine egg is mine. Anyone who dares to snatch it from me, I'll hack anyone to death. After speaking, Lin Mo also exposed the toy kitchen knife pinned to his waist to intimidate everyone. The uncle of the stall owner's eyes lit up, thinking that someone had finally been taken for a ride, and hurriedly said to Lin Mo, brother. Hurry up and give me the money, and I'll sell you the quasi-divine egg. Otherwise I will sell them. After finishing speaking, the stall owner also glanced at the crowd he had hired. I'll buy it. Don't rob me. What are you, kid? How dare you rob me? Advertisement. It has to be said that these people's emotional performances are in place, completely at the level of movie kings, and there is no flaw at all. The only problem is, a group of people and Lin Mo have been fighting over here for the egg, but no one has paid for it. Lin Mo, this egg. I want it from the king of Jiangnan. Who is against it? Me. What kind of thing is Jiangnan cutting the king? Boss, I will pay double the price. I pay 3 times. Uncle stall owner, you guys are paying for it. Of course, it's not that they don't pay, but everyone knows that the Pokémon egg is not a quasi-magic egg at all. And the pocket is cleaner than the face. If there is money, who will come to trust it? Everyone also saw that Lin Mo was here to make trouble. Just like them, they only bid, not pay. The surrounding crowd immediately knew that these people were invited by the stall owner, and immediately dispersed towards the surroundings. Lin Mo also squeezed into the crowd and took the opportunity to slip away. Only a few people were left looking at each other in the original ground. Obtained from Wang Jun's negative emotion value plus 10. Obtained from Li Dali's negative emotion value plus 10. Acquire negative emotion value plus 50 from Zhao Family Qian. Lin Mo couldn't help but burst into joy when he heard the system notification sound coming from his ear. As the flower of the alliance, how can an upright 3 good student tolerate such deceitful things happening? After leaving that deceitful booth, Lin Mo visited the black market again along the way, and was surprised to find that basically everything was sold in the black market. The secret treasure from the secret realm, although somewhat dilapidated, seems to be a second-hand secret treasure, normal. But it is indeed a secret treasure, and the price is much cheaper than Alliance's official price. I just don't know if it's true or not. There are also rough stones found in the secret realm. Although the effect is not as good as the secret treasure, it can also increase the strength of Pokémon. There are even some antiques in the black market. Advertisement. Chapter 47. Lin Mo walked around for another half an hour, and got a general idea of the rules of setting up stalls in the black market. Although the black market is not under the jurisdiction of the Alliance, it also has its own managers. If you set up a stall in the black market, you also need to buy a stall. However, the booth time can be 1 day, or even half a day. It's quite humane. After walking around with Pikachu for a long time, Lin Mo's stomach growled hoot hoot. After all, when I wake up in the morning, I am busy buying materials for making jet blocks. Also, Lin Mo didn't bother to eat breakfast when he made the jet cube before. Pikachu, let's go eat something first. After all, we may have to set up a stall until evening. Lin Mo asked Pikachu on his shoulder. Pick up. Pikachu also touched his belly and nodded in agreement. Apparently, Pikachu was hungry too. Lin Mo took Pikachu's salation into a small restaurant. There were not many people inside, and some customers who came to eat were scattered. Lin Mo found a seat against the wall and sat down, and shouted to the boss at the counter, "Boss! Bring me a tomato scrambled egg noodles. Another can of Coke." "Okay. Just a moment." After the boss quickly wrote down what Lin Mo ordered in his notebook, he walked into the kitchen. Every 3 minutes, the tomato egg noodles and Coke that Lin Mo asked for have been delivered to Lin Mo. Just as Lin Mo was about to eat, a discordant voice came from the table next to him. "Baby! I'll feed you. Hate it. Baby, let's eat together." At the next table was a young couple, who were very tired of eating a piece of noodles together. Seeing this scene, Lin Mo suddenly had a dark line on his face. Just after Kixi Festival, let's put this dog abuse, right? Get negative emotion value plus 30 from Lin Mo. Advertisement. Obtain negative emotion value plus 40 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value plus 50 from Lin Mo. Many customers in the shop showed dissatisfaction and looked towards the young couple, but no one showed any intention of stopping them. "This is," a slightly low-pitched male voice resounded throughout the shop. "Pikachu, see it. As a Pokémon, you must work hard, otherwise, like them, you have to eat a piece of fried noodles with 10 alliance coins. Promise me, don't live like this." Lin Mo spoke to Pikachu earnestly, and the voice clearly reached everyone's ears. The faces of the young couple who were eating noodles just now changed suddenly. "The gods are rushing to eat it. Can't you see that we are showing our affection?" Obtained from Lu Yu's negative emotion value plus 30. Obtained from Li Gang's negative emotion value plus 30. After hearing Lin Mo's words, the people around couldn't help but laughed out loud. The young couple could only walk out of the store in despair. After hearing Lin Mo's words, Pikachu nodded half understanding. Lin Mo patted Pikachu on the shoulder, with a teachable look, nodded and said, "In this case, remember to turn on the electricity for 5 hours when you get home later, and there will be no electricity at home." The surrounding bystanders. Pikachu has not yet figured out the necessary connection between these two things, and has been dazzled by Lin Mo. Just nodded in agreement. The surrounding crowd looked at Lin Mo in horror. What kind of ruthless person would treat his Pokémon like this? And the most frightening thing is that Pikachu has become so used to it that he didn't even resist. Obtained from Li Bing's negative emotion value plus 20. Get negative emotion value plus 20 from Wang Su. Advertisement. Lin Mo was taken aback when he heard the system notification sound coming from his ear, and then looked at the people around him. The people around them took a few steps back unconsciously, and some even stopped eating before being pressured. Those who escaped from normal left the shop. Lin Mo suddenly understood something in his heart, and felt a little helpless. It seems that his makeup is too aggressive, scaring innocent passers-by. After eating and drinking, it was already afternoon, and Lin Mo planned to pay the bill. The boss checks out. A total of 50 alliance coins, shall I sweep you or you sweep me? The boss skillfully took out a payment QR code. Lin Mo frowned, didn't he just order a tomato scrambled egg noodles and a can of Coke? How can it be so expensive? The boss also seemed to see Lin Mo's doubts, pointing to the price list on the wall and said, 10 alliance coins for scrambled egg noodles with tomato. 40 alliance coins for Coke. A few black lines appeared on Lin Mo's face, good guy. Inside the black market is a black shop, right? Drink assassin. Just wanted to let the boss see what is the power of the Jiangnan killing king. Result, the customers on the side immediately ran to the boss, leaned over, and whispered something into the boss' ear. After hearing this, the boss' face changed drastically, and he hurriedly hid under the counter, showing half of his head, and promised Lin Mo, no need. Good man, I will give you a free order this time. Lin Mo is kind to kerosene, too, after all, who would be willing to spend money if they could go whoring for nothing? He took Pikachu directly out of the door of the small shop. For the first time, I realized that it is good for people to look fierce. Pikachu, this is the first time I realized that as long as people have no conscience, even black shops will be afraid. Advertisement. Chapter 48. Lin Mo brought Pikachu to the management office of the black market, and spent 1,000 alliance coins to buy a booth for one day. It can be regarded as the first step in officially launching his own plan. Lin Mo followed the black market staff to the booth assigned to him. Unexpectedly, it turned out to be the brother who sold the fake quasi-god egg just now. It's you. The Zhao family's money immediately recognized the person who ruined his good deeds. Lin Mo also recognized Zhao Jiaqian, scratched his head embarrassingly and smiled, what a coincidence. Brother. Even after beating him to death, he never expected to meet Zhao Jiaqian for the second time. And his booth is right next door to him. But to Lin Mo's surprise, Zhao Jiaqian was not as furious as Lin Mo imagined. He smiled relievedly, then asked Lin Mo, may I ask what your brother's name is? Lin Mo was stunned by Zhao Jiaqian's sudden question, and frowned slightly. His eyes kept looking up and down Zhao Jiaqian, full of doubts in his heart. This person asked my name, maybe he wanted to take the opportunity to buy me a murderous revenge? Zhao Jiaqian also knew that Lin Mo was thinking wrong, and explained aloud, the black market has always been about relying on one's ability. If someone bought something you missed at a low price, you are not allowed to chase them for money. On the contrary, if you bought a guy by mistake, don't rush to revenge. So brother can tell at a glance that my quasi-divine egg is fake, I can only say that my skills are not as good as others. After listening to Zhao Jiaqian's explanation, Lin Mo suddenly became enlightened. It turns out that there is such a rule in the black market. Now I feel more at ease selling jet cubes myself. Otherwise, Lin Mo is really afraid of being revenged. Advertisement. But having said that, revenge is probably not the case. Still have to be careful and be careful. Lin Mo cupped his fists and thanked Zhao Jiaqian, thank you, brother, for pointing out the maze for my little brother. My little brother's name is Wang Zhenji. People in Jianghe call him Jiangnan Cutting King. Zhao Jiaqian nodded in relief when he saw that Lin Mo was so good at it. To Lin Mo said, I'll call you Xiao Wang from now on. Then Zhao Jiaqian realized that something was wrong, and hurriedly changed his words. Let's call you Root. No. Let's call you Ziji. It doesn't seem right, call you Ziogen. Okay. Zhao Jiaqian's face was full of embarrassment, and cold sweat was streaming down his forehead. Why is this name so wrong? I'm afraid that this fierce-looking brother will get angry and kill himself. Acquire negative emotion value plus 30 from Zhao Family Qian, acquire negative emotion value plus 40 from Zhao Family Qian, acquire negative emotion value plus 50 from Zhao Family Qian. Lin Mo listened to the system prompts that kept coming from his ears, with a smile on his face. After all, now that I have a shortage of negative emotions, I can earn a little. Bro, salation is fine. Lin Mo took out the energy cubes he was carrying one by one, and started to set up a stall. On the other hand, Zhao Jiaqian couldn't help laughing when he saw the items sold by Lin Mo brother. Are you out of your mind? The black market stall fee is so expensive, how can anyone set up a black market stall to sell energy cubes? Advertisement. And whoever came to the black market is here to buy energy cubes. Lin Mo turned his head and looked at Zhao Jiaqian. Zhao Jiaqian's laughter stopped abruptly. Seemingly frightened by Lin Mo's fierce face, he hastily explained tremblingly, now the market is getting more and more depressed, and even a veteran like me hasn't opened for a day. Is there really no market for energy cubes now? Lin Mo frowned suddenly. What Zhao Jiaqian said seemed to be true. I walked around for a long time, but I didn't seem to find any vendors selling energy cubes. Lin Mo took out a 100 denomination alliance coin from his clothes and handed it to Zhao Jiaqian. Also ask my brother to teach me. Zhao Jiaqian looked at the alliance coin in his hand, his eyes suddenly lit up, and he kicked the alliance coin into his arms with a smile. Explaining to Lin Mo, think about it. Those who come to the black market are basically trainers who come to pick up leaks, and most of them don't have much money. Those who can make energy cubes are basically the breeders, and the low-level energy cubes can't be sold for a lot of money. The price of the breeder house is similar to that on the black market. Instead of selling them on the black market, they might as well throw them directly to the breeder house. It doesn't take that much effort. And the trainers who are willing to use the mid-level energy cube breeder Pokémon are basically rich people. Rarely will appear to be picked up on the black market. Zhao Jiaqian explained to Lin Mo clearly why no one sells energy cubes in the black market. To put it bluntly, the rich have accurate supply channels. They would rather pay a high price to buy mid-level energy cubes with guaranteed quality, rather than come to the black market to buy cheap things without guaranteed quality. Lin Mo nodded thoughtfully. He is not worried about this issue. After all, I belong to the latter, cheap, but there is no quality assurance. My own jet cube is mainly used to harvest negative emotional value, and making money is only secondary. Therefore, Lin Mo's pricing is not high. It is cheaper than many mid-level energy cubes, and it has wide versatility, so many people buy it. Lin Mo is not worried at all that his jet cube will not be sold. Advertisement. Chapter 49. Look, take a look. Don't miss it when you pass by. A freshly baked mid-level energy cube. Lin Mo put the jet cubes he made on the booth one by one, and began to yell loudly. You pay 10 for a fake, it's absolutely genuine. The loud and clear voice suppressed the noise of the black market, but there were very few people who came. Even many passers-by looked at Lin Mo with the eyes of an idiot normal. Seeing Lin Mo's appearance, Zhao Jiaqian reminded him, Brother, your deception is too clumsy, no one will fall for it. Lin Mo's mouth twitched slightly when he heard Zhao Jiaqian's words. Damn, I am the majestic king of Jiangnan, the flower of the alliance, the successor of socialism, and I was taken as a liar? This is really an intermediate energy cube. Lin Mo explained helplessly. But the Zhao family around him seemed to be used to such tricks and didn't believe it at all. Come on. You still pretend to be with me. You pay 10 for a fake, do you think that you will give 11 bags directly? After getting along for a while, Zhao Jiaqian also discovered that this fierce-looking brother is completely a black market rookie. Moreover, his brain is more or less bad, and he actually came to sell energy cubes on the black market. Zhao Jiaqian had already set his mind on Lin Mo at this time, and said to Lin Mo mysteriously, Do you want to learn some skills from my brother? I guarantee you can sell them all. Skills? What skills? Lin Mo was immediately interested when he heard that he could sell his jet cube. Of course it's the skills of setting up a stall. I saw Zhao Jiaqian mysteriously taking out a simple book from his arms. Impressively written on it was the Encyclopedia of Black Market Scams, hardcover edition. Lin Mo. The corner of Lin Mo's mouth twitched slightly. The last time I was so speechless was, the last time. Get negative emotion value plus 30 from Lin Mo. Obtain negative emotion value plus 40 from Lin Mo. Advertisement. Obtain negative emotion value plus 50 from Lin Mo. Can this be published? Do you dare to be more outrageous? Or hardcover? Have you ever seen a hardcover edition so shabby? Lin Mo looked at the Encyclopedia of Black Market Deception, hardcover edition, in Zhao Jiaqian's hands, and was so speechless that he didn't know how to complain. Aren't you good at speaking? How did you become a trick? Zhao Jiaqian stared at the book in his hand for a moment, then immediately took out a marker pen from his arms and said to Lin Mo, Ah! Here, wait for me to change it. With that said, Zhao Jiaqian changed the title of the book. All right. Zhao Jiaqian handed the book in his hand to Lin Mo. Black Market Deception, Times, Tactics Encyclopedia. Zhao Jiaqian blacked out the word cheat and changed it into a speech technique. Lin Mo looked at Zhao Jiaqian in front of him, and guessed, if it's not what I expected, brother, you bought it from someone else, right? This is passed down to me by my master. Zhao's family's money was dismantled by Lin Mo, and he couldn't hold back his face, so he casually made up a master who didn't exist. Lin Mo rolled his eyes when he heard the system prompt sound coming from his ear. Acquire negative emotion value plus 20 from Zhao Family Qian, acquire negative emotion value plus 30 from Zhao Family Qian, acquire negative emotion value plus 40 from Zhao Family Qian. Well, as long as this old man's IQ is better, don't do business, right? However, Lin Mo was also reminded by Zhao Jiaqian that the black market has a complete collection of such scams. Then no one would believe me if I yelled like that. Lin Mo lowered his head and pondered, thinking of a good countermeasure. But the Zhao family collected money and asked cheaply, "How is it? Brother, if you buy it now, I will give you a 20% discount. Advertisement only 3,000 alliance coins. Don't want." Lin Mo said unhappily, "This person completely regards himself as a winner, right?" Lin Mo pondered for a long time, but he couldn't think of any good solution, and finally he had to resort to a big killer. Sighing helplessly, he said to Pikachu on his shoulder, "Pikachu, you go back to the Pokeball first." Pikachu, who originally resisted going back to the Pokeball, went back to the Pokeball without any resistance at all. Because it knows what Lin Mo is going to do next. Lin Mo picked up a bag of energy cubes from the booth, and gently tore open the bag. An incomparable fragrance instantly overflowed from the bag. The strong aroma permeated the surroundings in an instant, and the tangy aroma flooded the crowd like sea waves normal in an instant. The bustling crowd in the black market stopped immediately. "What is so fragrant? I seem to smell something delicious. Where are you going, Munchlax? Wait for me." For a time, people began to look for the source of the fragrance. Lin Mo's booth was already crowded with passers-by. They are all attracted by the aroma of the jet cube. Seeing that the crowd had almost gathered, Lin Mo also started to shout. "Intermediate energy cube. Can't be wrong, can't be fake. I'm in such a good mood to sell it today. The original 3,000 intermediate energy cubes only cost 2,500. Lin Mo's words directly ignited the crowd. "Damn it! Only 2,005 intermediate energy cubes are required? Give me 10 bags. I want 10 bags too. Don't grab it. Brother, I want 10 bags too." As Zhao Jiaqian said, those who come to the black market are basically those who have no money in their pockets. When I heard that the mid-level energy cubes sold by Lin Mo were 500 alliance coins cheaper than the ones in Breeder's house, I couldn't sit still. Scrambling to buy. Advertisement. Chapter 50. Zhao Jiaqian on the side couldn't laugh at this moment. The energy cube that can emit such a strong fragrance must not be a fake. Human noses can be faulty, but Pokémons are different. There are quite a few Pokémon around Lin Mo's booth, and they are staring at the unsealed energy cube in Lin Mo's hand. Zhao Jiaqian looked at his side again, and there was only one person who looked like a student standing in front of his stall. "Excuse me, are you queuing here?" Zhao Jiaqian suffered 10,000 points of critical damage. The mentality was directly broken by Lin Mo. Acquire negative emotion value plus 50 from Zhao Family Qian, acquire negative emotion value plus 50 from Zhao Family Qian, acquire negative emotion value plus 50 from Zhao Family Qian. It's just that now Lin Mo has no time to pay attention to the system prompts in his head, and now he is almost too busy. Surrounded by the crowd, while harvesting negative emotion points, they traded jet cubes. "You. Just you, this energy cube will give you a bag." After speaking, Lin Mo picked up a bag of jet cubes and threw them to a student wearing a worn-out school uniform. The student in school uniform was a little moved. He couldn't afford such an expensive mid-level energy cube. He could only watch from the sidelines, but who would have thought that Lin Mo would suddenly give him a bag of energy cubes? Why? The student held the energy cube in his arms, his expression a little moved. "No reason. Uncle. Rich." Lin Mo patted his chest arrogantly and straightened his hair. Immediately, a series of system prompts came from the ear. Gain Wang Ziofa's negative emotion value plus 10. Gain Sun Shen's negative emotion value plus 20. Get Li Dada's negative emotion value plus 100. Hearing the sound of the negative emotional value in the ear, Lin Mo felt relieved. Advertisement. I even heard that several people contributed as much negative emotional value as Su Ping'an. Lin Mo had some guesses in his heart. "Hurry up. Boss. The money has been transferred to you, hurry up and give me the energy cube." "That's right. Boss, you are moving too slowly. Little big brother, Can you give me a bag of energy cubes? When the time comes, I will play with you. Suddenly, a charming voice came from Lin Mo's ear. Hearing that Lin Mo's bones were numb, he turned his head to take a look. The result was a big sister in her 30s and 40s with heavy makeup, who was instantly taken aback. FK. Where is the monster? It hasn't revealed its original shape yet, big sister. Obtained from Wang Xiaojiao's negative emotion value plus 30. Lin Mo is selling his jet cubes while harvesting negative emotion points. Sending a bag of jet cubes from time to time can harvest the negative emotional value of many people. There are also all kinds of strange things trying to bargain in vain, bargaining on his Jiangnan Knocking site. Doesn't that mean you don't give yourself face? The price was doubled on the spot and let these bargainers cut it. Many people who bargained for the price still pinched their noses and bought it at twice the price. They are all trainers. It is not difficult to see that the energy cube made by Lin Mo is also the top of the intermediate energy cube. It is much better than the mid-level energy cubes in the breeder house. Even 5,000 alliance coins are priceless. In less than half an hour, the more than 400 jet cubes brought by Lin Mo have been sold out. After many trainers bought Lin Mo's jet cube, they immediately gave it to Pokémon to eat. Even tasted it myself. Because of the collection of water by negative emotions, a lot of negative emotion points are added to the account every minute. As for the Pokémon and trainers who ate it, their negative emotions were swept away, and they felt extremely comfortable. Plus the ones I just sent out by myself just now. It is estimated that nearly 4,000 to 5,000 negative emotion points are recorded every minute. Isn't this faster than bargaining? Advertisement. Lin Mo looked at his system panel as high as 6W, and felt a burst of fire in his heart. Now I feel a little regretful. If I had known how to make such a profit, I should buy more tree fruits and make them into jet cubes to give more. Maybe now my negative emotion value can break through the 100,000 mark. However, Lin Mo didn't regret it for a long time, and hurriedly packed up his booth and prepared to run away. Because he knew that in about an hour or two, his negative emotional value would usher in a surge. If after finishing the work, he was caught without running away, the consequences can be imagined. Zhao Jiaqian at the side saw that Lin Mo was about to close the stall, so he couldn't hold back at this time. He stepped forward to stop Lin Mo, rubbed his hands together, and said with a flattering smile, "Well, Brother Wang, I wonder if you still have that energy cube? I want to buy a pack too." "Yes, I just dismantled it. Just count your 2,000 alliance coins." Lin Mo handed Zhao Jiaqian the previously dismantled energy cube in his pocket. Now he is in a hurry to run away, and has no time to get too involved with the Zhao family's money. Zhao Jiaqian held the jet cube handed over by Lin Mo, but he didn't give way in the slightest. He continued to ask, "Brother Wang, I actually want to know, brother, do you sell the formula of your energy cube?" Seeing that Lin Mo earned so many alliance coins in less than half an hour, how could Zhao Jiaqian not be jealous? Zhao Jiaqian has already observed, Lin Mo looks a bit scary, but the previous Pikachu is nothing more than a professional. His professional level Guidud can completely defeat Pikachu by virtue of his strength, forcing him to buy and sell. However, to Zhao Jiaqian's surprise, Lin Mo agreed very simply. Sell. Why not sell? Lin Mo can now see that Zhao Jiaqian is jealous. If I don't sell the formula, I'm afraid Zhao's money will stop me all the time, or I will run away. Maybe there will be a strong buy and sell. Since you asked for it yourself, don't blame me. There was an innocent smile on Lin Mo's face, and his eyes narrowed slightly. If Pikachu is here, we know what is going to happen to the unlucky one. Advertisement. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you are notified of future uploads. You can find the next parts in the playlist visible on the screen or on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.